WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Do you ever have one of those moments where you think, how the hell did I get here? Jeez, what happened to me? I was ruling the galaxy, had a cherry new battle station. I mean, this place had an omelet bar, a straight-up omelet bar. And now look, my former intern's tossing me down a bottomless freaking pit. You know, come to think of it, my whole life has been a series of what the moments. That was my out.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I looked my woman in the eye sockets. I told her straight out. I just said it, man. I said it. I said.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
I said, bitch, I'm the man of the house.
You said bitch, though. You called your wife a bitch.
Yeah.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it.
Let's roll.
Welcome to WTFNationRadio.com. Woo, man, pump. I already killed the music. Fuck it, I'm hyped. It's Monday. What's going on, guys? Well, tonight I'm joined by Mom and Flash, RPAO. Flash. Cute. Come on, Flash. Every time I think of Flash, anyways. So today, this 23 of October, 2017, broadcasting live from the Functional Veteran Center of Excellence. Well, of course, we at WTFNationRadio.com and WTF Moments give you the total insight and entertainment, helping out veterans, and of course on the Veterans Report and KHB 94.1 and 620 AM. Damn, that's a lot of freaking intros, man. I gotta do. Holy crap! What's up, Jason? What's up, John? What's up, Max? Bring it on. So, all right, real quick, I got a question real quick to ask you there, Flash. And only because a fan had asked about this, and I'm obligated as a host of one of the many shows that we have on WTF Nation Radio, and I didn't want to do it at all because I'm not following any fucking sports. So someone knows that you are because everybody has, we have loyal listeners that can pay attention to who we are and where we follow our fanship to. And apparently you were talking some shit between another host, and it was going back and forth, yada yada yada. And now it sounds like your team just kind of like
I wouldn't really consider it going back and forth. One person got their feelings hurt. The other person just stated simply, we're in the playoffs and your team's not. And it just kind of spiraled out of craziness. Yes, unfortunately, the Yankees did lose.
Yes.
Game 7 to Houston. I will say, because I am a classy Yankees fan, that Houston was the better team. They were the better team for those last two. I mean, how do you go 18 innings and score 1 run? I'm sorry. Houston was on point. Their pitching was amazing. Their hitting was getting at it. I look forward to Houston beating the hell out of the Dodgers. I will say for the Yankees, not bad for a rebuilding year getting to ALCS. I mean, we didn't have to sit on the sidelines and the couch and complain and
I'm
go,
getting some
I'm going to
PMs.
root for every other team.
Everyone's giving me some
I got to
PMs
root for
now.
my team all the way into ALCS. So It was good. And all my friends and family down in Houston that made sure to call me after Houston won. I do wish them the best, and I think it's good. The city really needs. It's kind of like after 9/11 when the Yankees went to the World Series. New York really needed a win. And I really and I'm not just saying it's a throwaway. Houston's earned it. Altuve, as much as I love Judge, Altuve is the MVP. That man is shorter than me and has moves I've never seen. Like, it's almost like a shorter second base that Derek Jeter was at shortstop.
Well,
maybe not as Jeter, because I mean, dear God, if my wife would have let me, I would have named my son Jeter. She shot that down. So I guess I get to name my next Bulldog Jeter. And that's kind of like the halfway point. But Altuve's great. He's earned the MVP over Judge. Judge, hit a whole bunch of home runs, and he's done great in right field. But there's a difference between what you've done in right field and what you do in second base, and then consistency. So I think Altuve's got that. But it was good. I mean, I was surprised that we came back and won all 3 games and all 3 games in New York. But as one of my friends says, whoever says that home field advantage in baseball doesn't matter can look at this series as an example.
Well, I have a lot of comments about that because due to the fact that World Series is coming. Oh God, see, no, I'm not following fucking sports. Okay, a fan had asked me.
I know that's why the fact that I'm like, you have comments.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I have nothing to say. Everyone's like gonna fucking throw out shit at me and say, "Wait a minute, I thought you said you weren't really gonna follow sports anymore." And then of course I had a fan ask me about you. Doesn't one of your co-hosts that is listening? This goes to show they're a loyal Monday listener. Doesn't Cubs and Flash aren't they opposing? Because had I still been following baseball, I would have told the Royals to boot stomp fucking, and then had I still been following baseball, I would have said, the Dodgers are going to beat the fuck out of Houston. But since I'm not a fan, I mean, that's again, I can't even go into statistics and sports about baseball. I used to have 3 teams that I followed: Dodgers, Rangers, and the Royals. Only because I feel good stuff and what they do for the community and all that sort of shit. So that was my...
Feels like it has to be a community service to be a Royals fan. It's like, man, I got in trouble again. The judge says I have to be a Royals fan.
No. I'm talking about community.
I'll take the jail time.
No, fuck you. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about because of what they did, what the Royals did out of the fucking blue throughout all this whole fucking mess. What did they end up doing? They ended up deciding to get with the military and stream a baseball game just for the fans out there, which I think it's fucking awesome. When teams do shit like that, professional teams, to me that's more important than anything else. Like when fucking Siemens, because the Army was being, well, we don't know if we want to do this, and then Siemens said we're gonna pay for this fucking commercial to show a bunch of tankers in a fucking tent in Poland, and we're gonna show them watching the fucking thing, and then they did that virtual Super Bowl thing. That was fucking awesome. See, that is what it's supposed to be about. It's not supposed to be, to me, that's showing the troops, that's showing what it's all about. So I didn't really fucking watch that shit. So it's ironic that all my favorite teams now are blue. Dodger blue, Texas Rangers blue, and then of course KC blue. But since I don't fucking follow sports anymore, I cannot articulate an argument with you, Flash, on who's gonna do what or who's gonna whatever, because I'm not screaming the you know what I mean? I'm not looking at the stats, or else I would know for a fact that the only thing that I knew, only because I used to follow baseball, and my family are heavy freaking Dodger and Rangers fans, and now Royals fans too, because we have some family moving up around that area. I currently have some family attending military training there, so it's one of those things to where the Royals. I didn't know this. They go out to fucking Fort Leonard and do shit.
You don't need to know many stats for this one. Dodgers and Houston both have amazing pitching stat. They both have amazing starting pitching off the bat. They both have great benches, and they both have very potent lineups. I mean, this is the first time in I think it was 2003, if I remember the Fox Sport. Oh, and Joe Buck. I hate that guy. I'll get into that later. But it's the first time in 12 or 15 years or something like that where we've had 200+ game winners in the World Series, which is pretty cool. So, I mean, both these teams have definitely earned it. I think Houston's going to be a little better, even though they're going to be a little more tired from going all the way to Game 7. They're going to stay consistent. I think the Dodgers have maybe had a longer layover, so I expect Game 1 to be kind of interesting. They both have Clayton Kershaw, who's like this superpower. I mean, this guy is like superhero of pitchers. And then you have I think it's Klegel, if I'm saying it right, who the first game dominated the Yankees. The second, not so much, but, they're still on a rhythm. I think Dodgers' first game, I think it's going to go to Houston, which is going to be kind of fun.
Well, I think, see now, that makes it sound like I'm following it. I'm only following up to the point so I remember. But in the regular season, they both had triple-digit wins. You know what I mean? It's not only the 8th time that fucking 2 such clubs has ever done that in the Fall Classic. You know what I mean? That's the only since 1970. And they're fucking dominant. I mean, this is the first time the fucking Dodgers have gone to the World Series since '88. I was a kid. I mean, I went to that game when I was, I went to Dodger games when I was a kid. I know fucking all that shit. So to me, it is going to be a good rivalry because, like you said, Houston needs that pick me up. But then again, the Dodgers have been hungry for a while as well. So no, I'm not following sports. Shut up.
It does sound like you're following sports. I'm just kind of hitting at it. You sounds like you're following sports, but you're right. I mean, Houston's gone through a lot, and and I say this, it's through their merit. They got this far, and I think Houston really needs this victory more than people think. I mean, if you look at New York was the same way after 9/11. You'd be surprised how a sports team. And I was explaining to my wife how honestly sports teams matter nothing in the grand scheme of things, but how much a sports team championship victory can actually mean for the heart and soul of a city, and especially one who just got bent over by a hurricane
by nature.
That that no one expected to be that bad. And I have friends who I used to play paintball with a couple teams down there in Houston, SAS and TLI. Give a little shout out to my boys up there, but who've been working nonstop, getting fellow paintballers back to their homes. Have been working nonstop since it happened to help rebuild or at least get away the debris that all these nonprofit that were screwing things up were doing.
Yeah.
But I mean, Houston really needs. It would be really good for the healing process for him to get a victory, but it's not going to be given to him because Dodgers have not been to the World Series since '68.
No,
I think that's right.
No,
it's been
come
a lot.
on.
It's a lot older than I am. So
it's not 68. 68.
So you were in middle school back then. So it's.
I was a teenager. Yeah, I was. I was a teenager when they went to the World Series. So yes, I'm that old.
See, it's been a long time, or is it 70? I don't know.
It was 70s.
I remember them showing it.
Keep digging. I don't want to follow sports.
Yeah, yes, you do, because you're guaranteed you're going to end up watching this because it's going to go. I guarantee it's going to go 7 games. I think it's going to go the distance. It's going to be another classic, fall classic, just like last year with Cleveland and the Cubs.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a good World Series. 2 great teams that have complete all around teams are there. So it's going to be. I'm definitely watching it. I'm going to be rooting on my friends' teams in Houston, since I know they would do the same for me if my Yankees would have pulled their heads out of their asses and scored just a couple of runs, just a couple.
I just like the fact that I just like hearing Altuve's story. He's got a good story about his life.
Yeah, Altuve's got somebody's going to write a book on him.
Yeah.
But he's going to have He's not only going to have a long career, but I guarantee he's going to break some records. I mean, he's not a power hitter, even though he did smash some home runs on us. Damn it, CC Sabathia. But I mean, this guy is he's on his way to winning more than just an MVP. He's gonna. I guarantee he's gonna win some Golden Gloves and some Silver Sluggers.
More
I believe he won a batting. I think he won a batting title this year too. So.
Well, he homered in Game 6 and 7.
Yeah, I know, the son of a bitch.
Yeah, so I was like, whoa. Only purely because I've been getting.
I'm still a little salty. The wound, like my wife, being as awesome as she is, has been like, rubbing a little bit of salt in there. She's like, "You still mourning from your loss?" I'm like, "Shut up." But I mean, I'm happy with it. I mean, it was a good season. I would have been happier the Yankees would have won, but
this is for all the people that don't like the Yankees.
Yeah. Oh, it's okay. I did have to hit up Stephen King, because he was like, "Oh, it's a great day to wake up and great day for Red Sox Nation to wake up and the Yankees lost." I said, "Yeah, the Red Sox must have been loving it from their couches at home."
Yeah.
Not in the ALCS.
Yeah, if you're gonna talk shit, here's the thing: at least the Royals, at least all these other teams got up to that point. You know what I mean? It's not like they don't suck to get to that point. So.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Royals were there 2 years ago. They were in the ALCS.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they won a World Series not even 5 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that. I mean, Red Sox haven't really been up there since, was it 08? Something like that?
1908.
So I don't really care about Red Sox fans.
Neither do I.
I actually I've always liked the Royals because I always feel bad for the underdog teams, and glad when they can put something together without money. I wish my Yankees would keep doing that without the money, because with horrible contracts that are killing us.
Yeah, that's all you guys. That's all the Yankees got, though. That's all they got is fucking.
Well, we're getting rid of him. CC Sabathia is not getting re-signed. I guarantee that.
You don't think so?
And Ellsbury's about to, no. I mean, I love CC Sabathia. I was glad when we brought him over. I mean, he was the MVP in 2009 when we won the World Series. The man is old, and he's too much of a price tag. I mean, we got 2 or 3 grade A pitchers in the minor leagues ready to come up, just like Judge, Sanchez, Torres. We got all these people still, Greg Bird. We still have these people down there that we're trying to get back to where we were in '96 when we brought up Posada, Rivera, Jeter. We're trying to get back to that core 4. We're not going to have a core 4, but we're getting back to that, leaning on our farm system. And tell you what, Brian Cashman did a great job last year. I thought he was trading away everything. We traded away Chapman. We got rid of everybody. We got Teixeira to retire. And I thought we were screwed, but somehow through all those trades, all these good young characters came in and made this year a lot better than we thought it was going to be. So CC Sabathia is not going to get re-signed. Tanaka, I think he has a team option. I don't think he's going to test out free agency. There's still some questions about his arm staying healthy. We still have Sonny Gray for another year. And Ellsbury, I believe his contract is falling off soon, which can either leave a lot of money so we can get Bryce Harper, which they've thought about and they've kind of been throwing around, or B, we're just going to say screw it, try to get below that salary cap so we stop paying all these shitty teams money because we spend way too much on players, and just go with the young guys. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I mean, not that I follow sports anymore. But I'm pretty sure people are gonna tell me all about it and want me to talk about some stuff like that. And
I'll fill you in when you get curious. I got you.
Yeah, well, I'm not. What are you talking about? I have so many friends that they don't care that they've flooded. They purposely flood fucking shit on my fucking timeline that I have to keep deleting. Because they keep going, yeah, hey, blah, blah, blah. Hey, look at this. Hey, look at this. Hey, what about that? I'm like, fuckers, man, stop.
Is that an option? Can I do that?
I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, I just delete some of their posts. I don't care. I mean, I think they know where I stand on a lot of stuff, so they think it's funny. So, yeah, I'm curious. Like I said, I'm curious to see how it's gonna go. Like you said, they're gonna be 2 good teams. There's probably gonna be some oh shit moments, some fucking heartbreak moments, some fucking wow moments, some rallying. I want some benches cleared. Because I like to see shit fucking burn. So I mean, I just want to see some fighting to see what happens. But I think, like you said, I think it'll be a good game. I have no doubt that both the teams deserve it. And as a person who's not following baseball, but I'm still was Dodger fan. I really do hope that this gives Houston a good break. You know what I mean? Like you were saying.
Yeah, it's going to be a great series. I think it's going to go 7 games. And don't worry, when you're watching Game 7, I promise I won't make fun of you for watching.
You think I'm gonna watch?
Yeah, I think Game 7. If it goes Game 7,
if it goes a game,
I think you're not going to be able to not watch it.
Okay, well I'll tell you what, because it'll be postseason, so it's not really watching it. So is watching the World Series count as fucking around with my boycott? What do you guys think? Do you guys think that's?
I think you're good to go. I mean, only one person has decided to kneel during the national anthem, and I know it's not going to happen during any of the national anthem in the World Series because you want to see somebody get chastised. Now, it's not just a regular game like it was in the NFL or when the one cat from the Athletics kneeled. This is everyone's watching. There's nothing else. Prime time. Somebody does this, which no one has yet, and I doubt that's going to happen. So I think you're fine.
So you think that one kid from the Oakland A's, whose dad served in the military and was born overseas, you think that I think he's the only one that did it, right?
He has been the only one. Trust me. It would have popped up on any of my news feeds if anyone else from baseball had done it. But I think it was a one, and I'm pretty sure
he hasn't done it again.
Somebody had a talk with him because he only did it one time and was like.
Oh well,
not happy.
Oh, I thought they were still doing it. Okay, well, in that case, fucking boycott lifted on baseball.
It's only happened one time.
It only happened one time. Yeah.
But see, the thing is, it's baseball. There's national anthem. They play they play almost like 5 days a week, sometimes 6, sometimes 7, but mostly around 5 or so straight, or at least a series.
All right, cool.
He only did it one time out of like 100. I think they did the last quarter of the season, so about like 20 to 30 games. It happened only one time.
So
where in football, you have a whole week, and then you have a big game. You have a game, and then you do it, and then you have a whole another week.
And then you have
I think you're good with baseball.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well then. Officially today, I pronounced that on the 23rd of October in the year of our ice, 2017, I'm now going to watch Major League Baseball.
I'm glad I convinced you to watch Major League Baseball. Trust me, you won't want to.
It was only one. It was only one guy.
Fan, I'm
pretty excited. Well, that's what I'm saying. That was my whole point about me doing the boycott was because I don't give a fuck about what the standard is. I just want a standard enforced. Either you're all going to fucking not do it, not play it, whatever, but just don't going back and forth and using it for politics. That was my whole beef. And so the whole thing was the fact that it was that one kid that did it, and like you said, if they're not doing it anymore, I'm trusting your judgment as our PAO anyway. So you're our PAO, and if you're telling me that there's no one else doing it, because like you said, somebody probably told him, "Hey, fucker, stand up." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just a one and done thing because. And I'm not saying, and I don't want anyone to misconstrue that I'm saying that baseball is more. I mean, it is America's pastime, is more American than football. I'm just saying that there's a lot of things in the collective bargaining agreements for the MLB that are more specific on that. Just like in basketball, there is an actual order. There's actual thing in the contracts for the players that's why you haven't seen that in the NBA, which. If you were going to, if there's a predominantly all black sport, well, not predominantly black. Let's be fair. You would have saw it a lot more in the NBA, but they can't because they know they're going to get fined and they're going to get suspended games and stuff like that. Where in the NFL, they don't have that kind of thing, so they can do as they please. And meaning that, so that's why when they're saying the owners, Goodell's trying to stop these guys and rattle his little baby rattler and get all pissy and blue in the face. He has no leg to stand on because there's nothing in the contract that says you have to stand up for the national anthem, unlike in MLB and the NBA.
Do you know why
the MLB situation didn't really get too publicized? It was kind of like one guy stood and then the next day they moved on. They're like, okay, cool. Because that guy probably got reamed in the back, and then they just went, no, we're done here. We're good.
My thing though is that I don't think it was an issue in the NFL until somebody started doing it because it was always presumed that you do it. You know what I mean? It was always presumed that national anthem's playing, pay some respects.
It was not an issue until it was dying out until Donald Trump had to get on his Twitter sphere and start talking.
Yeah.
That's because if you want anyone to hate something. You get somebody who a lot of people hate to hate on something. It was going out. They stopped showing the beginning of the season. They had the three folks from the Cleveland Browns kneel. Yep. They kind of showed it, and then they moved on. It was kind of like, this happened. Then Donald Trump, after I think it was game 2,
he started stumping from Alabama for a.
He started throwing out the jabs and right hooks on Twitter.
Yeah.
Then everybody's going, well, hell, if that's the case, let us. And everyone started kneeling. And it went from being onesies and twosies during games to whole teams or the Steelers where the whole team decided, hey, we don't want to try to be involved or because we can't come to a consensus. We're all going to stay in the back and not be on the field because that's better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing bunny quotes for that in case you can't. That's better.
It's better. That's bigly.
So, I mean, it turned into this big old thing because Donald Trump got involved and now it's starting to die out again. And now, of course, now that Colin Kaepernick is filing a grievance against the NFL, who potentially could win millions of dollars from the NFL because of the quote unquote being blackballed. Is he as good as some of these backup quarterbacks? Probably as good as some of these backup quarterbacks. Would I still want to hire him? Nope. I'd rather take shitty Eli Manning right now over Colin Kaepernick because one, I know what Eli Manning can do. Colin Kaepernick hasn't played in a while, and his arm probably isn't the same unless he's been training nonstop. And two, I don't want all the extra baggage because you're assuming
you don't want drama.
He's going to come here and do the same thing, and you're going to have people boycotting. And guess what? Money talks. And when your team is starting to lose money because of one player deciding to do what he wants, then it's a lot. I won't say blackball, but I'm pretty sure they're not hiring for a couple of reasons.
My biggest thing is the fact that do they? He said he had a smoking gun. Do they? I mean, do you really think that he has a smoke? I don't think he's got a smoking gun. I think he's just bluffing.
I'd be interested to see what that is, unless somebody got a hold of a text message or an email or record a conversation where one of those old angry white owners is like, I ain't hiring that son of a bitch at all. He's not going to stand for my flag. I don't know anyone who's that Southern that owns a football team except maybe Jerry Jones, but still, nobody wants to. I doubt that anyone was dumb enough to go, we're not hiring him because we don't want to, because he did this and we don't want him now. I doubt that's the reason. But people are like, someone needs to hire him. No, they don't. It's their team. I don't get why people don't get this. Now, if you're discriminating, saying because he's mixed or he's black or he's white or he's Christian, then I got you. Then I think that's some BS. But if they're not hiring him because they don't want the drama, it's okay. Barry Bonds didn't want to actually retire. He actually wanted to go to another team, but nobody wanted that drama, so they said no. A-Rod stayed with the Yankees instead of taking his team option because nobody wanted that drama, and he stayed with us and kept going through those 10 seasons, even though we tried to give him an out because nobody wanted to deal with that crap. So, we'll see. If there's a smoking gun, it's going to come out, and I guarantee it's going to be all over everything on the righteous victory of Colin Kaepernick over the racist white owners of the NFL, or Colin Kaepernick loses again, not just in the NFL, but in his own personal time.
I don't think he's going to get picked up. That's just me. Honestly, it has nothing to do with blackballing, and send him up to a combine. All right, dude, fucking do it. Let's see it. You can line up. Let's see what you got. Because it's like you said, unless he's been trending on his own, that would be his redemption. You know what I mean? Okay, fucker, we're gonna bring you back. Let's see what fucking happens. If you could throw a fucking football moving, from a moving Black Hawk and hit a fucking target, then you're good to go, or some shit like that. I don't know fucking what type of whatever that you have to go through to go back. But I was just saying, you just mentioned that, and I was thinking about the people fucking not about blackballing him. What the president said. What about what he fucking said about Bergdahl, about Sergeant Bo, about Bergdahl? Now Bergdahl, what is he doing?
So as we re-reported, of
course,
and a couple other people, that Bergdahl actually was pleaded guilty in a strange turn of events. Everyone expected this to be a long, drawn-out trial. I won't lie. I think people were hoping for a long trial, at least just to get some answers. Because I think the biggest thing that people are worried about is no one has answers on why he decided to leave or his reasons and all this other stuff. Well, his lawyer, without a plea bargain or anything, there's no plea deal. There's none of that was incentives to plead guilty. He pled guilty. Now there's a couple of reasons they're thinking that either he's hoping for leniency, saying that, hey, if I plead guilty, y'all cool it, don't line me up against a wall, or they're just hoping that he'll have enough time served where they're going to knock it down to like 10, 15 years. Well, the sentencing is supposed to be coming up very soon. Well, the sentencing for Sergeant Bergdahl was delayed today for a judge to consider whether comments made by, get this, President Donald Trump have an influence on the case.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I meant. I mean, honestly, at what point are we talking about if we had an influence? Because right now, my biggest thing is the fact that when he made those comments, he made him as candidate Trump.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the comments they're going to go up against. He wasn't currently the chief, the commander in chief.
Well, the hearing's expected to continue on Wednesday. The judge wanted, and the judge is quoted as saying that he wanted to, a loose quote, people, he wanted to take these 2 days to really look and see, and be fair about this. And you know what? If I'm, regardless of what's going on, if I'm getting a fair shake by our military justice system, I would hope to have a judge who's going to be like, hold on, this might be something legitimate. But think about the implications of this. If the judge finds that the grounds by the comments are enough to dismiss, this is a motion to dismiss. This means that even though he pled guilty, if they find that Donald Trump's tweets had an influence on everything that
Correct.
are enough
Correct.
that he could actually walk free.
And walk free because it was a perceived purview of undue command influence, and so that's the catch there, and
that's a big deal because I feel as the PAO representative for WTF Nation Radio, it sets a interesting precedent for anybody that because what about all the tweets when the guy who punched the Afghan in the face, I'm forgetting the story.
You're talking about the special forces sergeant who was reinstated after he beat the fuck out of an Afghan commander who was raping a little boy at night, and then was bragging about it the next day.
Mm-hmm.
That's
what happens? How would it happen if somebody was tweeting? Because there was lots of tweets about that came from high up as congressmen and congresswomen and House representative folks. What level and how many and what kind of tweets do they have to be in order to affect what happens in our justice system? Because what can happen with this can bleed over to the civilian side. What happens if enough people say we have another Freddie Gray incident where a cop kills a black male perceived unarmed or whatever, and just take the situation. What happens if somebody keeps tweeting about it that's high enough up? If that cop was dead guilty, like the guy straight up just took out a guy unarmed and everything. Well, say Donald Trump starts tweeting about it and tweeting about the cop. Well, how do we determine if those tweets did not have an effect on all the, because he's got, was it 1 million or something people? I mean, it spreads around. Plus, anytime he tweets, hell, anytime he burps, it goes on Fox, CNN, MSNBC,
Exactly.
Politico, all of them.
Exactly.
How do you determine that his tweets did not have some kind of effect on the trial of this cop, and then this cop gets set free or is let go because they determine, oh, there was an undue influence. We can't do anything about it. We're like SOL out here, and then it leads to more riots or whatever. But this is going to set a precedent whether somebody's tweets, depending on how high they are in the government or whatever, affect our justice system, because that's going to mean big implications.
Just like I tell my soldiers as a first sergeant, Facebook isn't a fucking regulation. Neither is Twitter. Just because he made a comment about it doesn't it would be no different than when Barack Obama said that the cops acted stupidly.
Mm-hmm.
Or
if Travis Martin could have been my son.
If Trayvon, if I had a son, he'd be Trayvon Martin.
Thank you. Those are comments that could have some kind could be perceived if this holds up and Bergdahl is dismissed. This case is dismissed because of tweets. Could have been used to sway juries. This time, what if because President Obama said that tweet? How do we know that wouldn't have swayed the jury to go the other way on Trayvon Martin instead of the way they went?
That's right. So it's all Obama's fault that Trayvon Martin's killer walked away.
Yep, that's it. That's
there
everything.
That
is not the official standpoint of WTF Nation Radio, nor the opinion of Flash. Maybe eyes.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
I love having my PAO on with me.
I love having that little disclaimer. So if anyone says anything, you go, no. We have a whole thing for that.
We have a whole disclaimer for that. We have it on there. And Fair Use Act. There you go. I could say Fair Use Act. So anybody to get the ass about something. Hi guys, how you doing? Yeah. So it sounds like.
So the hearings expect to continue on Wednesday. So Wednesday. While this is not really being picked up much on other media, it's only Army Times posted a video and an article not too long ago.
You're welcome, Army Times.
Those guys. But the Army, the military has always been kind of a step ahead of U.S. society for a lot of issues and things going on.
Well, it's supposed to, but yeah.
Well, we try to be on the better side of it.
Exactly.
But what happens with this might really actually have an effect in the civilian courts. I mean, granted, if you got an offender bender and now you're going to traffic court, I'm pretty sure you get your mom to tweet on Twitter, I think my son is innocent.
There you go.
I don't think it's going to help you. But I think when it comes to these national, I mean, imagine if the O.J. Simpson trial happened when we have Twitter and everyone has an opinion. Dude. You're then saying, what if people? Oh, I think he's guilty. He's guilty. He's guilty. So that innocent the innocent thing he gets convicted because enough people were swayed by Twitter because hey, it's an easy medium. So it's going to be interesting. I mean,
if the glove don't fit, you must acquit.
I don't know. Fucking asshole deserves a bullet, but that's just me.
Well,
oh shit, I might have just swayed somebody.
Yeah, you might. Exactly. Well, that's the way. It's funny how media talks about that's their right to say it, but then as soon as you say something, they say that you should be held responsible for saying that because you, Flash, were the one that swayed some dude to fucking do whatever. I don't think so.
I think we really have to sway too many people that says he deserves a 5.56.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think there's anybody going to sway from that. So, my biggest thing is the fact that we'll see what happens, but what's going to happen to him? What's going to happen to him if he gets out? If he's released?
So I do want to point out this comment on the feed for Snyder. A military jury is based off regulation, not popular opinion. That's the main difference between civilian court and military court, and you're absolutely right. But we're talking about the grounds for dismissal off of the president's comments through Twitter, and not just Twitter, but his comments that he's made in the media also. That's something that isn't in regulation, and that's something that's never really been dealt with before. So I think that's the main issue / difference, because if he pled guilty, the judge had by military regulation probably has this is the range of punishment you can give this guy. 5.56 should be on there. If it's not, I'm disappointed. But
he deserved
the influence of media on a court, which we know media's always had some kind of influence on court system. I'm pretty sure lawyers have been hating all forms of media because it always hurts when they're selecting jurors from the jury pool.
Yeah,
but this is the first time that I've heard of a case being directly affected. Using the wrong words today, not PNOing really well. Affecting the potential outcome or a potential mindset of this case. And it's going to be weird because if they dismiss it, if they say, you know what, I think that too much of this has been influenced by the president's comments, and hopefully they don't just pin it all on Donald Trump, because everyone's always had President Obama had a comment on this. I think President Bush came out and said something like 2 years ago or whatnot. But I mean, there's been a lot of people saying it, but they're gonna pin on Donald Trump because hey, he's the president. But if they dismiss this, that's gonna flow over everything. If not, then hopefully it's the military taking a stand, going, just because he said something doesn't mean it's going to affect how we treat this soldier. At least not in military courts.
Well,
where
right
we're
now,
supposed to be...
I'm glad you brought a good point, because there are some pundits out there that are saying that people who served in the military should not serve in the cabinet. And I'm willing to bet you, if the president's making his fucking comments and the military doesn't do what the president wants or doesn't think what the president whatever, I bet you those same pundits will be appreciating the military for their fair and honest military system. Because I'm really getting tired of seeing the back and forth and shit on this stuff, because every time, and like you said, he could fart the fucking wrong way and people would say, oh my God, it's bad. When you have Democrats that hated Bush so fucking much, all of a sudden now say he's the greatest thing since fucking Coca-Cola, because he made a couple of comments about what he said. And if you listen to the speech that W made, he never mentioned Trump by name at all. He was just talking, but immediately everyone started saying, you see, W fucking was talking about Trump. They thought that W was out there going, I don't like Trump. He's a piece of shit. They thought he was going to do that.
That's actually a pretty good impression.
I want to tell you right now, Trump is a terrorist. Fuck him. You know what I mean? Fucking dude. Yeah. That's not what he said. He didn't say that at all. All he fucking said, and I using hyperbole, joking, imitating fucking a former president about this president. Everybody who hated him so much, you could see how the media swayed on how fuck you, D-Max. I saw your fucking comments in the goddamn chat. Fuck you. No way, dude. You're not gonna get this. Nope. No. You're not gonna get some. No. Anyways, you're all of a sudden gonna be you're gonna be the hero of the Democratic Party when just so many fucking famous people were talking so much shit about Bush, and now all of a sudden Bush is the good guy. So for years after W was the enemy of the fucking Democratic Party, now all of a sudden he's cool, and just like that, everyone loves Bush. You know what I mean? So many fucking news I saw on that shit.
I saw a great GIF that said that feeling when you're no longer the most hated president in history.
I know exactly, and it's got Jimmy Carter smiling and shit or something like that.
Yes, yeah. That I won't lie. I laughed pretty damn hard at that because just the straight humor and on Donald Trump, like I've said before, I don't like the guy, but I wait for him to do the messed up, stupid things. And hate him for when he makes stupid comments or does stupid things instead of just hating him eternally. I never hated President Obama.
No,
I disagree with. I liked him as a person. I thought he was a really upstanding guy. I've got to meet him a couple times at 2 9/11 memorials and in Bagram when he came up to tell us the great news that we're going to be in Afghanistan longer back in 2012. But I digress. But I didn't like his politics. But I thought he was a good guy. Donald Trump, I think he's a douche either way, but I don't get on him for him just, drinking Coke and drinking Pepsi instead of Coke, which is blasphemy.
I think
I wait for him to do stupid things like when he comes out and makes comments at going after Democrats for the stupidest things when you can just let him go, like Wilson and her weird cowboy hat, which doesn't make sense that she has a sequence cowboy hat for every outfit she has. That's weird to me.
I don't understand. She's talking about the cowboy hat. She said the cowboy hats are racist, but she's wearing a cowboy hat. But anyways, you're right. I've met W. I've met the last president, and like you said, they were down to earth people. It didn't matter if you fucking because I met W when he came out and told us that we were going to be extended longer in Iraq, and you guys are staying longer. You guys are fucked. And that ain't fucking okay. Cool. He was a cool dude. I met him before in an army installation. I met the other. I met the other president, and the same thing. Very cool. Nothing that you would hear of politics, but I think it's because these guys all have people that talk to them, and they are the better judge at deciding what to say or not to say or believe. I think this one doesn't. I think this one goes off of what someone's agenda in his cabinet is saying, and then he runs with it. You know what I mean? He just runs with it.
He's about fired every communication director or public affairs person who's been there, or sorry, they've resigned.
Yeah,
the Air Bunny quotes there.
Yeah,
they've resigned.
We don't understand why he's what's going on with his cabinet. It must be in turmoil. No, it's just the fact that you don't freaking, you have people that don't know where you're coming from, and that's what I think the other ones had. The other ones provided their guidance, and then everybody came out and fucking ran with this guidance, and then or went with the line of persuasion or line of effort that they both put out. And I think this president doesn't. He is listening to too many people that I don't think he stood firm and having his hand down saying, no, this is my policy, and that's it. We're not going to talk about it anymore, and then run with it. You know what I mean? It's almost like you were saying. He's kind of going back and forth with someone who is low rate. I mean, low rate. I mean, this congresswoman is low fucking rate, like a motherfucker. So
I never heard her until this whole thing.
Until I saw the cowboy hat. You know what I mean?
And now General Kelly and her are going at it.
Now they're going at it. You know what I mean?
And I'm like, who is this person again?
Yeah, exactly.
Are we making people's careers now by, hey, maybe if I can get in a fight with Donald Trump and his cabinet in the White House, then if I can do that, then I can become popular. Then people will vote for me because I'm the champion for the Democrats against the evil tyrant Donald Trump. Please vote for me. If not, the Democrats are going to lose even more seats.
She even said that, the president's worried about little old me. He made me a rock star. And I'm like, wow.
Who are you?
Yeah. Damn. Okay. I didn't know who the fuck you were, but all right, if you say so.
I won't lie. When the first time I heard the story or saw the story was on CNN, and the first thing I commented was, "What's with that hat?" Like, don't understand it. Like, cool. If you want to wear a cowboy hat, go forth and conquer. I can't just wrap my head that you would color coordinate your hats in sequence. Like, these hats have like shiny shit on them with your outfits. Also, I mean, you must have a great budget, or you really are just that tacky that you're gonna have. I mean, even Garth Brooks doesn't wear that kind of cowboy. That many cowboy hats with every outfit he has. And that's saying something. It's Garth Brooks. He's the man.
When I saw her talking, I was expecting some other black dude to come up behind her. Now, why you don't tell him that? Why are you telling him, woman? I said about 350. That's what I thought. That's what she reminded me of. She reminded me of that one character on South Park. I don't understand why Donald Trump bothered me. Woman, damn it, woman. You said 350. You know what I mean? That's what I expected.
For Snyder says, lay money, see runs for a higher position next term. I guarantee that everybody who's had a spat with Donald Trump in the White House, which is really not that hard to get his goat on that. I mean, dear God, you could just say Donald Trump drinks Pepsi instead of Coke. All of a sudden, Donald Trump will lose his effing mind.
Yep.
Go on a Twitter storm. Will show up at a Coke factory, go, I love you guys. These guys are awesome. We love all the people at Coke and everything. Like, this man will and then this person again will be the champion. Look at the Republicans. They're doing the same dang thing.
Yeah.
Dang thing. Dear God, man.
The
Speaker of the House, Ryan, has been pushing back against Trump, and it's actually, as much as people kind of went like, the Tea Party and Tea Party light people are like, oh, Ryan doesn't have a backbone and this, that, and the other. This dude was going to be a nominee if the crowd wasn't so dang full of idiots.
Yeah.
Like, there's 12 people that want to be Republican nominees. Paul Ryan went, nah, I'm okay. But he's having spats with Donald Trump and showing, I'm going to stay for the conservative base and the semi-establishment, and people are actually starting to flock to him and give him more money.
That's because he's going against Trump. That's the only thing that.
Yeah, it's not just the Democrats doing this. Everyone knows. I don't know where these pockets of people that voted for Donald Trump in all these counties, I don't think they've all just disappeared. But for some reason, granted, Democrats across the board, no matter where you are, you could be as crazy as like Bernie Sanders or as like Schumer or Nancy witch-looking Pelosi. You're going to hate Donald Trump regardless. You're going to hate any Republican regardless. But the Republicans are either the divide is increasing between loving him and hating him. There's no longer the I like his policies because he's better than Hillary Clinton, which, well, I wouldn't say better than Hillary Clinton, but still, it's kind of like, do I want shit or shit? But there used to be that middle of people that are like, well, it's not Hillary and she is the devil, so let's go with Donald Trump. Now it's either I'm a diehard pro Second Amendment, anti-abortion, Republican.
So crazy.
I hate the establishment, and I'm going to vote for Donald Trump to the day I die. And then you have people that have moved away from the middle from the middle of that craziness of the spectrum and moved towards the middle and going, Donald Trump's a crazy son of a bitch. I don't want my taxes killing me, but I don't want to vote for him. So everyone's making money is trying to make money and make and move up in their position. So because they're using him as a platform, they're using unified hatred and dislike for this man to make them better for the next election. And D-Max, I know you really want to talk about Bergdahl, but
no, it's
like
okay.
Your voice. It hurts our ears.
No, I don't give a fuck. I was just talking about
you
this.
Tried calling it didn't work.
Directly.
Oh, he's so excited about the wedding now.
Say, would you crackers like to hear about the time we saw the Loch Ness Monster?
That's all I thought about when I saw that shit. I need about 350. Sorry.
Oh man, that hurt.
Oh god. So today, we were talking about, and the whole reason why I brought that up is because we were talking about the whole Gold Star thing, and it was just by chance and not by timing. It was just total coincidental times that we're going to talk to Penny Ayala Duncan, who's a Gold Star widow. And she's talking about the Hands Across America program. She's going to come up with Standing United in the second segment. I didn't get the whole And this is one thing that I was talking about what General Kelly was saying, is that the whole thing that you would thought would be sanctified the most would be that. And it just seemed like it just went to shit. You know what I mean? It just totally seemed like it went to shit. So we're gonna talk to her about some of this stuff too. We're gonna let her talk about Standing United and get her feel about that shit. You know what I mean? Because I think that it's, you know, I talked about when I was a casualty notification officer, a casualty assistance officer. Now we're going to hear it from a Gold Star family member too on some of her opinions about this. And it's not to, again, this was Mom, you could say this too. You can confirm this. This was not timed in accordance with what's going on in the news right now.
No, not at all.
So this is
we would never exploit anybody like that.
This
We're
wasn't
not politicians.
Yeah, this was a total. That's what I don't want nobody to do. I don't want nobody to think that we're jumping in the fray. This was a complete freaking coincidence that this happened during this time. So we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break. I need to recharge my drink. I'm not drinking tonight because I got freaking PT in the morning.
Coffee?
I got PT in the morning. I do PT now. Because I do PT on my own. I'm sorry. I don't do PT yet just because nobody does PT where I'm at, and they look at me like I got a phallus growing from my forehead when I'm trying to do PT. Hey, when you join me here, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? 350? No, I'm talking about you want to do PT. No, I weigh 350 because I don't do PT. So, we're going to go ahead and take an early break, and so then at the top of the hour, we're going to go ahead and hit the interview with Penny Ayala Duncan. Again, we're gonna ask you guys that, you know, to pay attention to what's going on here, to ask, you know, listen to what she's got to say, and then I'm going to ask her some questions that, you know, might it's going to be some serious questions. So everyone, with that, I'm going to go ahead and knock out the Facebook Live chat. I'll see you guys on Facebook Live later. So, and then on freaking Mixer, you're listening to it right now. Thank you for staying on. We're going to go ahead and hear some tunes, and then we'll be back with our guests. So, on that note, shots. Listen to some Maiden.
Shots.
Actually, a picture of the Antichrist crying. I like it. It's tasty.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
And we're back. WTFNationRadio.com's part 2 of the Monday edition. Wow. So, real quick, we have Penny Ayala Duncan from Hands Across America United. Did I get that right?
Yes, okay. Very good.
Just wanted to double check to make sure. I didn't want to mess up somebody's name because I know people get a little worried about the name spelling and all that. I don't want to mess it up. So
most people can't pronounce my last name.
Ayala. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
So
it comes out Alaya.
Alaya.
Yeah, they put the L before the Y.
So Penny, tell us about your organization, Hands Across America United. Tell us because you know what, I grew up during the Reagan era, and there was and there was a campaign called Hands Across America, and I'm thinking, is this the same one? So I'm curious to see. Tell us about it.
It's actually different. I am a Gold Star wife, and my kids are, you know, Gold Star kids, of course. And we were watching a football game one day, and we saw all these players kneeling during the national anthem, which is something, to me, it's just very disrespectful. Because to me, granted, my husband died long after we got our freedom of speech, long after we got our freedom of press, you know, religion, whatever. My husband died long after that. But he continued to fight for us to keep those rights. And I finally, you know, I was sitting there and I was talking to a friend of mine about it because my son, he's 16 years old, and he looked at me and he says, "Mom, why are they being disrespectful? I don't understand." And for someone who is 16 years old, and he's very, you know, very smart, for him to not understand why someone would disrespect our country that way, it was very hard for me to have to explain, well, you know, he's doing it because blacks are oppressed. And he looked at me and he says, Mom, he makes $6 billion, $6 million a year to play football, which is a game he supposedly loves. How is he oppressed? And so I said, you know what? You're right. I said, but what can we do about it? And he honestly looked at me and he says, you know what, Mom? He says, why don't we show them that we stand as a country? And I said, okay, but how would we do that? And so I was talking to another mother, and we came up with this idea. We said, why don't we stand in front of, wherever, but all, a town in every state across America, have a group of people, 2, 3, 5, I don't care, to hold hands and stand and say, we're here, we're standing because we are united as a country. We aren't going to take this, black, white, red, brown, green, orange. It didn't matter. We were a country that was going to stand united and strong instead of letting people tear us apart for our differences. And, that's generally what both me, my son, and several other people, we all feel that our country was made on our differences, not on our similarities. And we don't have to fight for our religion. We can just practice our religion. We don't have to fight for who we love. We can just love the people that we love. And we needed to stand united and say, we're not going to bow down because you guys want to change us. Our differences is what makes us united.
First I want to say is I appreciate, and there's nothing that I can say to bring back what happened to your husband. All I can say is that I appreciate his sacrifice, and I'm honored to be speaking to you tonight. What have you done so far? What is the awareness so far? What's it come to? Have you spoken to anybody in our elected officials, representatives about it?
We've actually talked to the people here at Fort Campbell. We have several organizations here around this area because I live in Clarksville, Tennessee. I am remarried to someone who was active duty Army. We have talked to several people. We've got a couple of units here that are going to get involved, and we have basically decided. And I don't want to call this a protest. I almost want to call it, just practicing, what we stand by, and saying, we're together, we're united, we're one. We're not going to bow down because you're pointing out, all these things. And we've had so much turmoil over the past several, years with, all of these different movements that are coming across, trying to build a wall between each, the black, the white, the red, the green, whatever. They're trying to build walls between us and segregate us into these pretty little boxes. And I don't want to, I want us to realize that what made us great is because instead of being in our pretty little boxes, we're goulash, we're gumbo. We're just all thrown in together, and we all live peacefully and happy for the most part.
Now,
I love that. I love that we're goulash and gumbo.
Yeah.
I think that's better than the soup thing they did back in like the 20s. I do think that, we have some spice in there.
We do.
I love it. Gumbo, that's what I'm calling it now.
Yeah, we're basically, as Americans, we're gumbo because, granted, I'm Native American, so yeah, my people did start here, but I'm also Irish, I'm also Italian, I'm also German. In me, there is a gumbo of different people who came to this country looking for a right and a freedom to be able to be who they were. And we need to stand up and show people that even though we're all different, because we are all, I call myself a Heinz 57 because I don't know everything that's in me.
Of course.
Because, God knows 90% of people these days can't. But, we look at it, if we look at it as those differences are what made us who we are. And as American people, we need to stand up and say, I'm proud to be different than the person standing next to me. But it doesn't stop me from holding their hand and being united for our country.
Of course. Now, I know I was going to ask you what you thought about this, but you immediately jumped into it. So I was going to So when you first it's almost from the mouth of babes that I mean 16 years old is still a kid. That would immediately recognize that was disrespectful. You know what I mean? That question that was given to you while that happened, the kid immediately saw. In other words, there was no one had to. I mean, you and your husband obviously had instilled some values in him to understand what respect was for him to ask that. So, I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be able to help. I couldn't say anything. I wouldn't be able to speak.
Well, and I sat there with tears in my eyes because it made me realize that I've raised a good kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've raised someone who has integrity for our country, who, you know, he understands that his father did not die in vain. You know, that these people, yes, they may have come from a bad background, or they may have come from, from a different situation than what they're in now. But they're not there now, and they need to be thankful for what they've been given, because not a lot of people get to do what they absolutely love and find joy in as a job and get paid $6 million to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I would love to be able to do crafts and make in $6 million a year, doing that, but it's not going to happen. And, he basically at 16, I saw through his eyes what he was viewing. And he looked at me and he says, Mom, I don't think I want to watch the NFL this year. And that broke my heart in itself, because we're a big, we love football in my house.
Yeah.
From freaking, preseason all the way through to the Super Bowl. You can hear me yelling at my TV if ever the Chiefs are on, because that's my team.
Oh, the Chiefs. Okay.
Yeah. I was born and raised in Kansas. Okay. Give me a
I guess it could be worse. You could be a Patriots fan.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah, we'll agree on that one.
We'll go even worse. I could be a Cowboys fan.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Well, see, that's yeah, exactly.
Exactly. I just threw up a little bit in my mouth. I'm not even gonna lie.
Awesome. Yeah, we're not. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything because I was a Raiders fan. So, and we know that Kansas City and the Raiders have a serious rivalry already. So.
Oh yeah, they've always had one.
Yeah,
and they always will.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's good fun. That's what it's supposed to be about. It's one of those things to where that was the whole meaning of football. Was it brought a point, and we've discussed this before, where a group of Americans from different backgrounds can come together and cheer on their home teams, because it didn't matter where you were from your home team.
It made us family.
It made exactly that. You were together. You all came to freaking wherever the Chiefs play, and
Kansas City.
Yeah, Kansas City, and y'all came together from different walks of life into Kansas City, and then that was it. That was your moment to trash on the Raiders or trash on the Patriots, just like Raiders fans and
it's so funny because even now, like, I will check in on my on the game or whatever, just kind of check in, but I refuse to watch it because my son is right. Why, and I think it was the Chiefs' main owner. He said, I'm not paying you boys to voice your political views.
Yeah.
He says, you are being paid by the American public to play a game and entertain them. You are not being paid to tell them what you think politically.
Yeah, exactly.
And that really got me, because he is 100% right. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to pay my $75 to $100 for a ticket up in the nosebleed seats to go to this guy who's kneeling for a flag that my husband died defending. It's not right. He's doing it to a national anthem that I'm from the era where we said the Pledge of Allegiance every morning from kindergarten up to 12th grade. We said the Pledge of Allegiance with our hand over our heart, and we were proud of who we were as a country. And I sat there and I was like, you know what? They're right. We're not paying them to give us their political views, because I really don't care. What I'm paying them for, that, $75 to $100 nosebleed seat, is to entertain me and play the game.
I was going to say that. Entertain me. Dance for me. Don't kneel. You're here to do, we're paying you to do, I wouldn't say our bidding, but you're here to entertain us.
You're here to play a game.
Exactly. You're here to, and we want to come to the freaking stadium to watch and watch some football and enjoy. Like I said, going back to the family thing, because you know what, you could be from all walks of life, but when you go to an NFL game and you're all cheering the same team, it's the goulash. I like that goulash analogy that you were making.
Yeah,
that's exactly that.
And we are, because you've got the people that are spending thousands of dollars for their plush seats. But when you go to a football game, it don't matter if you paid $100 for that ticket or $700 for that ticket or $1,000 for that ticket. The person sitting next to you is your family because you're rooting for the same people, the same team, and you want to win.
Yeah, exactly. You want to win. Everybody should win when it comes to watching a football game, and especially everyone should win when it comes to paying respect. See, I go back and forth with some individuals that think that it's the freedom of speech part, and I'm thinking, you know what? It was presumed, and matter of fact, me and Flash talked about it in the first segment. It is presumed that there was never really a rule in all sports, is because everyone just did it. Everyone just on their own didn't have to worry about paying respects because it was one of those things that you knew. But for some reason, it became one of those, oh, well, then there you go. If it's not in the rules, then I guess I can do it because freedom of speech. You know what I mean? Back when I was coming up, it was presumed that you did it. There was no issue with
Well,
that.
and see, one of the biggest things that has gotten me with this whole, football thing is, okay, I can understand. You want to protest because you feel that, black, white, brown, red, whatever is being oppressed. I understand that. Do it off the field.
Yeah.
Don't do it during our national anthem, which has held us all together for so many years.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got people that, that can trace their lineage back to, General Washington, who did fight for us to have the rights. He fought for us to have, the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights. He fought for all of that stuff.
Yeah.
We separated from England because we didn't have those rights there. So basically, and this is how I feel about it. I feel like they're basically looking at all of our ancestors and going, fuck you. Excuse my language.
You can say it.
You have a point to it because apparently it's not just resonating with your family, but it's resonating with a lot of families. Forrest Snyder on the comments is saying that the NFL revenue is down 6%. Now, that might seem like a little bit. I mean, I
not
put
for
that
football.
Exactly. I put almost that much in my TSP, but 6% for a multi-billion-dollar company. Billion? I think they're.
I would probably say trillion. Because they do make several. They make some big bank.
Yeah, they
do. But 6%'s a lot of money, and I think that's why Goodell, who kind of stayed back at the very beginning, was like, "Well, I don't think this is a good idea," but is now like, "Well, we're going to talk to the owners and put out something," because they understand that, And you're right. I never thought about it that way because I know me and Ice argued about this, about freedom of speech, and I think if they want to do that, but then you're right. It kind of takes away, if you pay, like you said, $100 to get up in the, as a Giants fan, it's really easy to spend $5 to get into the stadium now because we're horrible. But you're paying hard-earned money, and you don't want to see somebody's political thing. And that is an argument that I can understand because you're right. You should, just because I'm at a baseball game or I'm at a football game doesn't mean that I need to have politics or something shoved down my throat. And I agree with your sentiments on that.
Well, and the thing that gets me is we go to baseball, we go to basketball, we go to football games to get away from our everyday reality. And I hate to put it that way, but we do. We go there to watch people who actually love the sport that they are playing, play that sport. And it gives us, we're paying our hard-earned money that we've worked all week long and probably have spent, a good portion of our net pay to get into these events. We're not there to listen to them speak about political things. If I wanted to do that, I'd go to Congress and listen to them.
Well, it'd put you to sleep if you watch any of the Congress stuff because those guys, it seems like they don't sit around.
They drone on for hours and hours.
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
Well, you should hear some of their amazing jokes that everyone there find extremely funny, and then everyone else goes, "What?"
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we're like, huh?
So,
but the thing is, we don't want their political views. We want to watch the game because it gives us that escape for that little bit of time.
So tell us about this. So what's the? I know you're starting to gather up the people, and And we got your Facebook page tagged in our main post, so you don't have to worry about looking for it in the comments, Nation. You can go ahead and check it out. Look right there, just right above KHB and the Veteran Support. You'll see her Facebook page right there. Go ahead and throw them a like, and then where are you at right now? What are you starting to look at right now for this?
I'm located in Clarksville, Tennessee.
Okay.
I know that I have 2 towns in Florida, and we have several towns across the United States.
Mm-hmm.
What we're looking to do is on November 4th. I chose, the weekend before Veterans Day, because Veterans Day should be for the veterans.
Mm-hmm.
But basically what we've decided is that from 1 to 2 Central Standard Time, which is 2 to 3 Eastern, 1 to 2 here, 12 to 1 Mountain Time, and then, so on and so forth across the country. We're going to stand for an hour and just hold hands. And if you feel like singing, let's sing, but show people that we are united as a country. Beyond race, beyond anything, religious preference, sexual preference, it doesn't matter to us. We just need to show the country that we are still here and still united.
So you're gonna do it you're gonna be doing it on Fort Campbell Boulevard, right?
Yes,
right,
we are going to be on Fort Campbell Boulevard in front of the main gate.
Main gate number 4.
Yes.
On Saturday, the 4th of November.
That's where our local one is.
Okay.
I'm sure that if you're, elsewhere across the country, if you want to, get a hold of me, I can tell you where a local one is, if we have one local.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't, even if it's just your small little family, get up there and make a statement and show them that you're there. You're unified. And who knows, somebody may come up and ask you, well, why are you doing this? And all you have to do is say, we wanted to show the world that we're, the nation, that we're still here, that we're still fighting for each other.
Yeah, and I think that this is now starting to get unbelievably ridiculous, to where international teams who have never had freedom before are trying to show support for the NFL players that are kneeling, and they have no freaking clue what they're doing. I think they're doing it for popularity, but I don't think they have a clue. They have no clue what's going on.
I don't think they do.
Because in some of those countries, that's how they're led, on their knees, and so one of the things that I can't fathom that people would say, yeah, even European sports are playing. Well, first off, European sports, okay, whatever. But the fact that, like you said, I think it's more of it's a protest that doesn't need to be on the field at all.
It doesn't. And see, and this is, this really, it's a thing to say, hey, I don't just love my fellow American, I love my fellow man. People that live here in America, we have so many rights. And, my husband just got back from Korea, and he was telling me about how, Kim Jong-un, and how they're not allowed to say, they can't say anything bad about their dictator. And all I could think of was, well, some days if I couldn't diss my president, I don't know what I'd do. I open up a bag of Cheetos and instantly I'm going, wonder what Trump's doing. Come on. But if we were in another country, I couldn't make that joke.
No, you'd get
we'd be
killed.
killed.
Yeah, you'd be
She's
jailed.
perfectly describing my lunch break right there.
I was about to say. I don't know about you went, even though you went there with the Cheetos, and I was just about ready to say that and you bring up the good point too, that's where you do it off the field. Just do it off the field.
Yeah.
Just
I wouldn't be caught dead making that statement at work.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
I work for a DoD company. I would never make that statement at work because someone would find it offensive. But for people that understand where I'm coming from, and I do mean my utmost respect for Mr. Trump, he is trying, like many before him, he has been kind of handed a bag of, crap and told do something with it.
Yeah.
So he has to fix things that, have been messed up by previous. I'm sure all of us understand how that is. Anybody that's been in a management position and step into a new one because the old manager wasn't doing their job knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
They were handed a sack of crap and told, here, do something with this, make it work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And our presidents, granted, they've all made impact in one way or another, but it's not always been good.
What do you think about what's been going on with this current Gold Star situation with his comments that he's made so far?
I have really tried to keep away from it, just for the plain fact of.
You don't have to answer. That's fine.
My husband passed away. I had a 2-month-old baby and a 3-year-old who thought the world rose and fallen every night on their dad. Mm-hmm. And I take solace in the fact I walked into my relationship with my husband knowing he was a Marine. And I walked into that relationship knowing that if something ever happened that we went back to war, there was a possibility. Granted, I thought it was a bigger possibility, but it was a possibility that I would have to see my husband in a flag-draped coffin. But that's what made it heroic to me, is because he chose to do that. He didn't get drafted. He didn't go into being a Marine not knowing that if something happened, he was going to go to war. We all knew when 9/11 hit, because I had a 6-month-old when 9/11 hit. And he came home from work and he says, "Penny, are you watching the news?" And I was like, "No, I'm watching Teletubbies. I got a 6-month-old. Come on." He says, "Turn the news on." And I turned the news on. And the instant I saw what was going across the news, I started crying. Not tears of, "Oh my God, my husband's going to war." It was honest to God tears of, "Oh my God, I might lose my husband. And my son's going to grow up without his dad." And so we did everything. We had that conversation of what to do if he were to die. We had the conversation of what he would want the kids to, his son to remember him by. We had those hard conversations that people don't normally have, because when you're not in the military, you think you're going to live to be 90. Yep. When you're in the military, you kind of count your lucky stars if you make it to 50.
Yeah.
And I just, I sat there and I had that conversation with him. And I remember when they came to tell me, I was, I hadn't been able to sleep. And I don't know, how many Gold Star wives have gone through that, but it felt like something was missing in my life, in my heart. And I didn't even know he was gone yet. And I'm sitting there and I couldn't sleep because I was like, something's wrong with my husband. Something's wrong. And I had finally drifted off and they came to my door. And I'm so thankful for the man who came to my door, because he had known me my entire marriage. He was my late husband's chief warrant officer. I had known him, the whole time. And he comes to me and he says, "Penny, I'm so sorry." And I was just like, my heart dropped to my toes. And I said, "He's gone." He says, "Yeah. How did you know?" And I was like, something's missing in my heart. And all I can say is I feel for her. I know that baby is never going to understand when he looks into mama's eyes. And I pray that she gets the solidarity and the understanding that if that child looks like their daddy, which my youngest one looks just like his daddy, I find solace in the fact that I can look at him and I can say, your daddy loved you so much that he made you look like him. And that he would be so proud of the men that they're becoming, because they're becoming men with with a mom who basically stepped in and said, "Okay, I'm going to do this single. Don't know how, didn't choose it, but here I am." And I hope that they gathered that it wasn't just my strength, it was his, because he did step up to fight for our country. And her husband, I know, is looking over her and is proud because she's fighting for herself now. She's fighting for herself and that baby.
Well,
sorry.
No.
That's some heavy. I mean, I want to just say that I'm hope my wife's not listening to this segment at all, because she'll never let me re-up my contract. But I do want, that's my levity, because I have trouble handling heavy situations. That's a very heavy thing you just dropped on us, and I want to say I'm very thankful for the chance for us to be able to talk to you today. And we know this is a tough subject, so it takes a lot to to give us your viewpoints and everything. But I think that I got nothing. I honestly am just, this is so heavy, and so I
Well,
hope
and the
to
thing-
never put my wife in this position. I
Yeah,
hope my
the
wife
thing
never
about
has
it-
to be that.
The thing about it, and this is something that granted, I am 13 years out. Okay, I have been dealing with grief for 13 years. And everybody says, oh, grief will slowly go away. I'm sorry, and I hate to say this, and for all of you that are listening, it doesn't. Whether it's your mom, your dad, your husband, your wife, your kids, it does not go away. But I have learned through the last 13 years that I should not have to hide his name in order to make everyone else feel comfortable. He died. Yes, he did it. Oh, it's a fact of my life. But he was a part of my life. And that's the part of me that stands up and fights and says his name over and over again until people listen. Because we have people out there, and my husband passed away from PTSD and TBI. He took his own life because the demons in his head just were overpowering. And people need to understand it's not just those people that are going to war that are coming back either in body bags or coming back broken, because every single person who goes over there comes back missing a piece of themselves.
Ooh, yeah.
Sorry, that's one of my soapboxes, is because I believe that veterans.
Penny. This you're right. You're soapboxing over 1 million people right now, and I don't care. You can soapbox all night if you want.
Well, and that's the thing is, veterans and active duty members from back in 2004, which is when my husband died. He was literally told, if you continue to seek out behavioral health, you will be discharged, and not honorably. And it tore at him because he wanted to provide for us, but he knew he needed to talk to somebody, and it couldn't be me because I've never been to war. I don't understand that. And he didn't want to burden me with it. And I have to honestly say, if you are an active duty member or a veteran and you have those thoughts in your head, please talk to somebody. I don't care who. Talk to somebody, because there is someone out there that is willing to listen to you.
How long did he serve?
He served for almost 8 years.
And what was his rank when he?
He was a corporal in the Marine Corps. He got busted down because he taught behavioral health.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that, Penny.
Yeah, it was a bad situation all around.
I bet. What after the casualty notification process happened? What was the?
Say that again.
After the casualty notification process, what was the? How are you taken care of by the CEO? Because in the Army, it's a little bit different. I don't know how the Marine Corps does.
Well, and this I have one of many horror stories I've heard. Most Gold Star moms, dads, wives, husbands, whatever, you are assigned a CACO when you lose a member in the active duty or veteran. Mm-hmm. You are assigned someone who is supposed to help you wade through all the paperwork and kind of hide you from all the BS.
Mm-hmm.
I was not given one. I was basically told, here's his gratuity check, here is his death benefits. You have to put him in his dress blues to bury him. Where do you want him buried? That was the only choice I got, was where I wanted him buried. And then I was basically told, have a nice life. Hope the kids turn out great. His unit was told, every man in his unit was told that if they contacted me, they would be NJP'd, which is the Army. I don't know what the Army equivalent of that is.
It's a
gotten them into a lot of trouble.
It's an Article 15. We say Article 15. It's like Captain's Mass, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, they were basically told,
so
don't contact her, don't talk to her.
Well,
and these guys had become my family.
So
I lived, 14 hours away from my family.
I'm going to ask you a question.
So I made one.
I want to ask you a question. Who are they? Who are the guys that said that you can't do this? Because I'm incensed right now.
His hierarchy, his command, his first sergeant, his staff sergeant, everyone but Chief Warrant Officer Cooper, which, bless his heart, he stepped into a very hard role. Everyone else underneath him basically said that any of the guys from his unit that were his, were in his company, worked on vehicles with him, if they contacted me after we got back from the funeral and had the memorial service, they would be NJP. That anyone in the company that talked to me would be NJP.
I'm going to ask you again now, Penny. So you're telling me right now that the command just threw you the death gratuity check, the SGLI, and then they said that
adios.
They didn't know, so no CACO was provided to you.
Nope.
No, you basically had to do everything yourself.
And this is something that really pressed on me because I am very active with the kids organizations like Snowball Express, A Soldier's Child, Camp Hometown Heroes, all these different things, because I want my kids to learn that they're not the only ones that are grieving. And they're normal. They're normal kids going through a very abnormal situation. And in doing all of that, I have learned that there were things that I was entitled to that I'm never going to receive, that my children are never going to receive. We waited almost 13 years to get our Gold Star pins. Things that we should have been given from the get-go.
Okay, Penny. After the show is completed, what I want you to do is I want you to stay on the line when we take a break, and then and this is for after, because I want you to provide all the details you can, and I will make this my mission to expose these fucks for what they've done.
Okay.
And I'm hearing your story of loss is because I've done that job. I've done the CACO job before, and just to hear it and then hearing the rest of it, I'm incensed. I don't know what to say. I can blab a fucking mile a minute and I can't talk right now.
Well, and the thing about it is I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me. I don't want anyone to pity me because
this is
I learned the hard way. But I have chosen, because I have a Facebook group that helps other, Gold Star moms, Gold Star significant others, to find those benefits that they are entitled to, because I don't want them to miss out like I did and like my kids will. I don't want them to miss out on those things because they are entitled to that. They lost the person that was supposed to love them forever. And these kids deserve to be treated with respect. Yeah. These kids have lost more than probably 90% of the country because they didn't get to grow up with mom or dad.
Understand.
They don't understand. And like my son, he asked me when he was 10, he's 16 now, Mommy, why did God want to punish me by taking my daddy? And I got down on my knees and I said, God, I know you're not punishing him, but how do I explain this to my child? And you know what? There is no explanation for it. What they did to my husband's memory was wrong.
Okay. It's okay. And it isn't, because we are U.S. Army WTF moments, but we love our we love our jar-headed crayon-eating brothers and sisters, and so we more than happy to help you out in this endeavor to get to the bottom of what happened and what was not exactly happened. I've never gone after another service, nor have I ever posted anything about another service, but I feel right now as my own personal mission that I think that we should engage this. So. Where were you stationed?
I kind of got the bad end of the stick because I've still never seen an autopsy report. The only reports I've seen have been redacted so badly that you can't even tell my husband died.
Where were you?
They don't even have his name in them. And I've tried to get information, and it's just not possible.
Where were you stationed?
We were stationed at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina.
And he did this underway, or was he already?
He was stateside.
He was stateside.
Yes. And that's what made it even worse, is because we were moving from on post to off post to kind of give him some distance. Give him that. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced, but that's like that shutdown. Once you pass through that gate, you turn off the army mode or the military mode. We were giving him that space to where he could turn that off for a little while and just be a family man. And we were going for final inspection, and they won't tell me. All they tell me is that he died from asphyxiation due to suicide. And it's like, why would someone do that when he just bought, they all say because, there's certain criteria that somebody's going to do this. He didn't fit any of them. He didn't fit any of it because we did everything, the opposite of all the criteria that's supposed to be. But, after being in this for so long and seeing how many, people hear my story, and I've had, military men, women come up to me and say, your story really touched me. And yeah, I don't show it, but things really drag me down. And I tell them, just like I tell everyone, all my friends and family, if you have those feelings, talk to somebody. You can come talk to me. I don't care if it's 3 a.m, call me and I'll be there. Because no family should have to deal with this. No family should have to wake up one morning happy with everybody in their family, and then the next day that person, one of those people is gone. And it's due to negligence, not anything, and nothing less than that.
Okay. Well,
and if I can save one family from having to go through this, my job is done on this world, on this earth. One family from not having to do this, my job is done.
I understand that. I totally understand that. So right now you're in Clarksville, Tennessee, and
yes.
and you were remarried, and
yes.
You're going to do the event. Let me go back again. You're going to go back
on the 4th.
On the 4th of November, and you're going to
yes.
do it out of Gate 4 on Campbell Boulevard.
Yes, Fort Campbell Boulevard.
And then it is going to start at 2:00 Campbell time.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
I think it's either 1 or 2. I'd have to look at my page, but I'm on my phone right now, so I can't even look at it.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Okay.
But we want to show our solidarity. Because there are so many people who have stories similar to mine, or so many people that have stories that are completely opposite.
No, I got you. Okay.
And the story isn't what matters. It's the fact that we're all together.
Oh,
we all feel this, this power to say, hey, we may be different, but we're together. We're united.
Exactly that. I was just about to say we're the goulash.
Yep.
Well, hey, Penny, thanks for coming on, and I want you to hang on. On the line and get with Amy so she can get some details and some and get some contact info from you.
Okay.
And then we'll take a quick break, and then Penny, thanks for coming out for joining us at
Thank you for having me.
WTFNationRadio.com, and you're representing Hands Across America United. So don't forget WTF Nation Radio. We got November 4th outside Gate 4 on Campbell Boulevard, Fort Campbell, November 4th. I'm going to go ahead and kill the Facebook live feed, and you guys can join us in Mixer. Again, thank you guys so much for hanging out for us. We're going to go ahead and take a break, and then, we'll see you in a sec. Shots.
Everybody have a great night.
Is that actually a picture of the Antichrist crying? I like it. It's tasty.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
You can't front on that.
Well, it definitely is all about the visuals, although pretty sure it's illegal.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Good evening, boys and girls. This is Tim Kennedy. I'm a Special Forces sniper, a Ranger qualified Green Beret, a UFC fighter. Please listen to us and the shenanigans that we're going to say. We will insult you. There will be racial slurs. We will be sexist. We will offend you. But there will be magic, and a unicorn will be raped. So enjoy the show. Thank you for listening on WTF Nation Radio.
Say, would you crackers like to hear about the time we saw the Loch Ness Monster?
I fucking love it. Welcome back to part 3. WTF Nation Radio's Monday edition on the 23rd of October. Broadcasting live from the Functional Veteran Center of Excellence. Wow, what a guest. I lost for words.
Yeah, it was a very heavy segment.
Very heavy. Again,
But I'm glad we had it. I think it was hopefully the right thing that some people who may be struggling need to know. They need to get out there and seek help no matter what.
Yeah.
Some solace for some of the family. I think as tough as it was, and I know she's incredibly amazing for coming on the show and even talking to us about it and being so open with us that I think it's what people need to hear. And sometimes what people need to hear is a lot of times the hardest.
Yeah, sometimes the truth does upset individuals when it's the truth, I guess.
Yeah.
So straight off the Veterans Report. If you guys have not been checking out, we have our partnership with KHB Radio 94.1 FM and 620 AM in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh, man. Pittsburgh. Who would have thought Pittsburgh? Teamed up with Jim Cannon at the Veterans Report. It's kind of like the Drudge Report, but it's all veteran-related stuff. Great stuff in there.
And better.
And yeah, but better because it's got a lot of resources. It's got a military movie a library in there. It's got all the podcasts to include yours truly when I came on to talk about our partnership as well. And then he throws up the same veteran issues and same veteran. I love it. It's an aggregate news site. We are even on if you go to the Veterans Report and you go on to theveteransreport.com and then you go to their Facebook page or whatever. But if you go to their page, it's set up just like Drudge. It's an awesome idea. It's a news aggregate, and on the left side, you know how they have all the news and information links that you can go to. I even have freaking I think I saw WTF Nation Radio and US Army WTF once on there too. So we are of the news leagues now.
It's getting real.
Scary real, I think, a little bit. I'm like, are we supposed? I don't know what to do. You know how hard it was not to say any of the vulgarities in that mess, and I was so nervous. That was probably the most nervous I had been in a long time, and I did not want to. It was hard. He had the dump button and everything ready to go.
Finger over it.
He was
hovering, ready for it.
He was ready for it. So one of the big headline things is that there was a report, and it was shocking, is that there was a veteran who needed assistance, and the caregiver was playing video games on her computer, and so our condolences to some of the family members that have been dealing through this veteran stuff. But this is a report that that I think needs to be read, and I was shocked. A guy went into cardiac arrest, and the hospital said they couldn't do anything. And this is a quote from his wife. A few days later, the wife got a phone call from the doctor, who was repeating what a woman was saying in the background. And the woman was saying that they weren't doing their job, and had they done what I told them to do, he'd have been alive, because I've been able to check him once or twice an hour. An investigation by the VA Inspector General eventually revealed that Patricia Wabel, the nurse's aide assigned to check on Mr. Nutter, the veteran who passed away that evening, was playing video games on a computer that night. And at first, Wabel lied, said that she made required checks and initiated the corresponding paperwork, but convinced after an investigator told her that the hospital camera showed her never moving from her computer during her entire shift. That's when she decided to admit it. She found Mr. Nutter unresponsive the next morning, and crudely indicated to her supervisor that he was dead by sliding her finger across her throat. She was terminated immediately.
Holy.
I mean, this is one of those things. He was exposed to toxic herbicide Agent Orange in the 1960s, and is required to go through checks due to the fact that he had respiratory problems, and couldn't get out of bed on his own and lost his second leg to diabetes. So that right there really freaking I'm just shocked.
Shocked. I'm actually horrified. I mean, this is supposed to be the people that are supposed to be taking care of.
Yeah.
And they. Oh no. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my video games, but your job is to make sure these people, keep these folks alive and provide all the service and care you possibly. Man, somebody needs to be like. This is one of those times where somebody needs to be beat the hell out of somebody because how the hell do you just go neglect your dude? That's like being on a patrol and just you're on watch and just falling asleep and shit.
And decide not to fall asleep while the bad guys are sneaking in a fence.
Like, no, I'm just gonna I'm gonna play my video games. I'm sure he'll be fine.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Like and I always hate to say I hope that people that this shit doesn't fall. People mess up, but that's kind of stuff. I hope they don't find a damn job ever again. At least the only thing they're worth doing is cutting grass and even that might be too good for them. That is.
Well, I think personally that she should fucking go to jail. That's negligent.
No, you're right.
There should be no termination. She should have been terminated. She should have been fucking thrown in jail, and that'd have been it. Just like how police.
That's negligence. Yeah, that's at least like manslaughter.
Yeah.
Some form of manslaughter.
Exactly.
I'd like to think I might be wrong. I'm no expert. I'm only public affairs, but
you're only a public affairs guy.
There's got to be some kind of statute or something that says if you just blatantly say he'll be all right and he dies, then you. You're right. She should be in There's a she, right? She should be in handcuffs.
Yeah, she should
not just terminate, not a pink slip.
Yeah, I think she should be handcuffed because it's. I see. And Mom, you can interject. You can answer this question if you'd like. Don't you think just like a police officer who negligently discharges his weapon, the same thing with a care provider or first responder that is required to do that they should be held liable as well?
Oh, I completely agree because, when I was an EMT and I negligently, didn't perform CPR because I didn't feel like it, I should be held responsible. Or, for this nurse to do this with her patient care.
Yeah.
That's awesome. They need to hold her responsible. She needs to lose her license.
Yeah, I'm just shocked.
What the family can do, I know, and I've said this before when I was on Liquid Lunch with Pi, that at the time, for a while we knew that we all know the VA it didn't seem like they're being held responsible for these types of, I guess you can say cases of neglect, which that's what this is neglect. Even though the VA might not do something about it, but you sure as shit can go to the state board and have that healthcare provider's license removed. Report them to the board. You have every right to do that. If you feel like, there's serious neglect going on, report them to the board. And they will be investigated, and depending on investigation, they can lose their license to practice medicine. And that's, across the board from, EMT to paramedics to doctors to nurses, even your, good old medical examiner.
It's going to be one hell of a civil suit, that's for sure.
Yeah, no follow-up on this, just reported. It was just a report. And I do hope that they do go after her because she should not, again, I'm getting this from the Veterans Report. The Veterans Report, if you guys ever Google it, if you guys do it with the space, it'll be the actual Veterans Report of the cases and statistics for the Veterans Administration. But if you type in Google and you type it all together, theveteransreport.com, you'll be able to pull it up.
So was this gentleman supposed to have been checked up
it was supposed to be checked,
every hour? Or
it's supposed to be checked twice a day.
Twice a day?
Yeah. So...
And apparently she couldn't handle that.
I'm sorry. He was supposed to, let me rephrase that. Let me retract that. He was supposed to go hourly checks. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So, yeah, hourly checks.
What about the other patients? Obviously if she's ignored him, what about the others?
Well, of course, the family is weighing, legal options, which they should totally fucking go for.
Well, yeah, they have every right to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's probably why she got terminated, because if she's the nurse on shift, I know nurses on shift are required to check, almost like do staff duty, how you got to check the arms room and shit. It's just like freaking.
Yep.
The nurses do the same thing when they pull their floor watch. They have to go and check on the patients, and because I know when I've had hospital stays, the nurses were freaking annoying me. Only I've had some serious injuries happen to me, but they came by and hey, how you doing? You good? And I'm like, oh, I was trying to sleep. What are you doing? And then, okay, thank you. And then they walk out.
Yeah.
Because
you're so right. Because I was just thinking, back in 2016, I was in Korea, and I ended up being laid up in the hospital for about 7 days with a staph infection. Got a nice, couple surgeries and all that fun stuff. And I remember hating all the nurses.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't, I could not get a straight hour or straight 30 minutes of sleep, because somebody was either taking blood or somebody was checking on me, or I felt bad for the guy who would come dump out my pee thing because I couldn't walk, and then I'd immediately have to pee right after.
Yeah.
But now I'm so at this point, I want to just give somebody hey, if you're a Young Sung in April 2016 and you worked in the hospital there, I appreciate the hell out of you.
Yep, sorry.
Slim Chan, you're listening, but still, I appreciate the hell out of you, because
I'm sorry I bitched you out.
Those are the people that you have out there that are doing that kind of stuff. I'm glad I got bugged every hour, all day, all night, because I kept my leg, and now I just have a nice pretty scar, but that was the extent of it, and I'm alive and not this bullshit right here.
See, and I'm wondering, this probably isn't the first time that she just sat there and played her games.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When she was dimed out, then that's when she brought it to. They're like, look, you're in the video, sitting there the whole time.
Yeah.
Didn't move. So what are you gonna do now? You know what I mean? Not really much you can do about that, but fucking sign your pink slip or get for your. I think you should get. I don't think you should get your final pay. If you fuck up like that, I think final pay should be docked from you. That's kind of like punishment. You know what I mean? But even though they worked it, even though too bad labor laws. See, there you go. I guess, what are you, conservative? Are you Democrat? Are you libertarian? Are you a dictator? Because you just said you wanted to take their pay for fucking up. You damn right. You know what I mean?
That I'll second that.
I know.
Just register as independent, but I'll second that shit right there.
Take pay.
I'm sorry. Good night. You lost your pay.
Yeah, you lost your pay.
Months ago, there was something about. Remember that doctor that was watching porn while treating patients?
Okay, look.
And no.
Jesus.
No, but they were talking about I guess start suspending employees without pay. And that's what you need to do. Is if you suspend them with pay, what's that going to do?
Oh damn! I get to go home, sit down, and still get a
free
paycheck.
vacation.
Especially doctors. I mean, they're already making bank as it is. It's not like they're not making money. They are making money. They are doctors, and so if for a doctor to get his base pay, I guess you would say, well, I mean, you get fucking busted for it. But so tell me about this porn thing that's happening. So he's
Let's face it.
This was I guess probably back in April.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
About the whole the doctor was busted for I guess watching porn while treating patients, and then or I guess I won't say new, but the VA secretary was just you know what, we just need to start docking their pay, suspend them without pay. I don't know where that has gone, and I guess the change of paperwork and stuff like that and where it's at, but I do remember that the possibility of that happening may happen.
Okay.
Holy crap.
Can you
if that makes sense. I mean, to me it makes sense. I mean, look at the NFL. They're starting to hurt. Yeah. Like you said, 6%, they're losing that income. Everything, people need everything is based on money. But you really want to go after people, go after their wallets.
Well, do you watch TV?
And that's how you'll get things to change.
Yeah, but do you watch freaking do you ever work in an environment where there's ambience music?
I'm sorry. I was going to repeat something off of the Facebook chat.
What's up?
But Cody Klein apparently is either really drunk or something, because he's stringing together a thought, it's taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7 comments to do it. Cody, take a second, write out your full thing, get someone else to look at it, because I actually want to know what you want to say now.
Right? Apparently, it's that important.
Well, I'm reading it, and I'm just like, I want to know what he has to say, because apparently it's enough where he's like, I'll keep doing it until I get it right. It's just not there yet. We're almost there.
Yeah.
Cody Klein. I got you, brother.
Yep.
Just go ahead and write it out.
2016, 2017. We're not even 2018.
Oh.
2 years
Sorry.
expletive
Was
number 2.
A for effort.
What the fuck is that?
There we go. He's trying. Maybe, you know what? Maybe that's what Facebook, live chats need, is like a translator. Like, you can see everybody else's post from other languages, translate. Maybe we can have like a drunk post translator or whatever.
I can't tell if it's a drunk post translator or what. He's writing. It's not like it's a spelling thing. It's just there's just a bunch of different words, and I don't know. Well, we love you too, Cody. I'm not messing with you to be funny. I'm messing because I really want to know what you have to say, but we love you too. And I don't know if you haven't brought this up for a reason, but Tim Kennedy's got a birthday coming up, right?
Yeah, I don't think I can hear you guys. Can you guys hear me?
Well, I can hear you.
Mom?
Did you break the system again?
Mom, can you hear me?
Now I can, yes.
Okay, good. Because did you hear that? Did you hear me activate my lightsaber? That was.
that was?
Yeah.
Thought that was your atomic vibrator or something.
Yeah.
When Flash here speaks, it peaks. Like I can hear him peak.
You peak too.
Oh well, I can't help it. I talk loud.
Yeah, you peak too. You peak too. Amy.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're very peaky.
You're very peaky. Y'all peaking all. Yeah, Tim Kennedy does have a birthday coming up. I'm waiting for a D-Max love song. Have you ever heard of you've heard of D-Max's fucking music? He's got like 150 cover songs, and I love his happy birthday one. It's you got to hear that. It's fucking awesome. Real quick, you're right. Why is the VA exempt from Alpha? That's a good point, Pookie. What are you trying to say, dude? What are you trying to say, Cody? 2016 0 seconds that 2016 we aren't even.
You've totally missed it.
No,
we've already addressed the Cody Klein not being able to string things together. I'm still waiting for a complete sentence.
Yeah, I'm asking. That's what I'm asking again, because he's 2 years expletive equals number 2. Love you all.
I think
that's because we were given a hard time.
He loves us because we're giving him a hard time. Well, I'm talking about November 4th.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
That's Tim Kennedy's birthday.
Yeah, and you know why it's such a great day?
Why? What's going on in America?
Because the great folks over at the, when you have the alt-right, you now have the alt-left or Antifa. Well, Antifa's come out and said on several occasions that November 4th is going to be like a day of reckoning. It's they're literally going to take over like capitals of all these different cities, and they've been training, physically training, fighting training, weapons training, and they're ready to start, to become almost a militant force, if you will. And Tim Kennedy has been tweeting nonstop about this, and he is ready for some Antifa hunting. And I can't say I'm not looking forward to walking through D.C. to see some of these sons of bitches on the 4th.
Oh my God! Bring it!
Well,
bring it, Antifa. Bring it.
That's what and Tim Kennedy's like, he's not holding back, and of course no one from Antifa will say anything on it, or they might not even know who Tim Kennedy is, but they've been calling out they've been calling out patriots and pretty much everyone who's not fucking crazy like they are being like, they're saying they're going to pretty much take over everything, and I'm going to walk through DC on the 4th just like hoping a bitch would.
I'm just saying 99 problems, but Antifa ain't one. I mean, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about them. You know what I mean? I really don't.
They're like the Girl Scouts of militant forces, right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Except they don't sell cookies, the sons of bitches.
Yeah. They sell pussy hats. Hey, so WTF Nation, everyone's saying that you're hearing some shit. Can you guys hear me over? Am I giving you a quality sound over the net? Because I don't care if Flash and Moms can hear me good. I want to make sure you guys can hear me good.
Shit, it sounds like an improvement on your voice.
What's up, Doc Dread? How you been, man? Yeah, so please, Antifa, come visit. So One of the medical things that I was talking about, and we'll keep you posted on that veteran, by the way, on his family, because his family is talking about doing a, following suit. So today, everybody knows that I got a little guy running around the house, and freaking he gets into everything. He sometimes gets on the show and likes to make his comments, and then he bugs out. So today, picked up Baby Ice from school, hanging out, getting ready for the show, feeding the kid and all that stuff, and then I walk away for I wouldn't even say not even maybe 2 seconds. I turn around and put something up, and then I hear some giggling, like laughing, like he's playing with I looked at him and it looked like it was a spirit, like he was chasing a ghost, like he was laughing and giggling. And we've been talking about freaking Paranormal Activity. We've been talking about all this other shit. And I'm thinking, motherfuckers, he freaking, this ghost. And he's giggling and laughing. And then he's crawling on the ground, laughing and giggling like he's like hiding from something or he's trying to get at something. And I don't know what the hell he's getting at. And then I said, Baby Ice, come on, what are you doing? Stand up, what are you doing? And he turns around and he has a wolf spider about 1 inch in diameter across his cheek. He grabs the spider and shoves it in his mouth and eats it.
Oh my god.
That's why I was almost late on broadcasting today, because I was freaking out, calling everybody and their mother about poison, about all this, and no, he'll shit it out. Everyone's like, he'll be okay, it's not a big deal. How big was it? It was, to me, spider, a spider is about 1 inch in diameter. It means it was a big, healthy fucking wolf spider, and it was
a big, healthy motherfucker.
It was a big fucking spider. So when he turned around, it literally was like a fucking horror movie. He turned around and he had a smile, but he had a spider sitting across, and it covered his whole cheek. And then he grabs the spider and just rolls it right into his mouth and starts crunching on it. And I'm like, ah! And so I fucking try to, I try to do the parent finger sweep, fucking don't shove your fingers, don't do whatever. And he's sitting there crunching on it, and he's running away going, no, it's my snack. And he's crunching away, eating it. And I'm thinking, I'm giving him everything I can to dilute this thing. No problem, no issues. I'm sitting there watching him. That's why I've been I'm like, hey, I gotta go check on the kid. He's good. He's good. He's sleeping. He's coughing.
Just needed protein.
I tell you what, he handled that thing like a boss. I've never seen a spider. I mean, because where I live, spiders are prevalent. I mean, you're freaking in the, if you are in the southern states spanning from Florida all the way to Texas, spiders are some fucking big spiders. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I was calling vets, medical personnel, and all that, and they're like, oh, well, just how big was the spider? And just how? And I was like, it covered his whole cheek. It was like 1 inch, like his leg. It looked like a little freaking, it was like a big start, like a fake spider that you see in Halloween, fucking right there on his fucking face. And Baby Ice just grabbed that thing like a boss. As soon as I look, I'm like, what are you doing? Don't let it go. And it started moving, and I'm like, oh my God, it's going to fucking bite him. It's going to do something. No. He grabs it, and that's what he was doing. He wasn't chasing a ghost. He was chasing the fucking spider that was on the fucking ground. And it'd gone from, it must have came from from outside or the back. So he came from the back door, and it was running around. So he was giggling and laughing, thinking that the spider was fucking, like it was a play toy. Because he's now studying, he's now exploring with nature. He loves nature. If it's something that's like meowing, growling, barking, throwing, whatever, or trying to get, like he laughs at squirrels when they try to jump on the tree and they fall off, and then a hawk will come by and eat it. He laughs at that shit. So
I think your kid's possessed, dude, because that's
dude.
If my kid just like had a wolf spider on his face, I'd already be letting the kid on fire, going, well, I guess I can make another one. This isn't happening.
No, I was looking at him like, because like I said, think about it. Think about your kid, okay? Think about a toddler between the ages of 1 and 4, okay? And you know how kids are so innocent at stuff
stupid.
like that. And well, they don't know. And they are, you're hearing giggling and laughing, and the reason why
signs that there's trouble right there.
Yeah, they're giggling and laughing. And the reason why I didn't fucking he stood up and he was like kind of dancing around. It's because the spider was crawling all around his head and he was trying to grab it.
Oh my God.
That's why he was looking at that's why it looked like he was talking to someone, because he was like, ha ha ha, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. I'm thinking, fuck, my house is possessed.
Oh my God, my body hurts. Stop it. Stop it.
My house is fucking possessed.
I'd be letting Baby Flash on fire. Like, sorry.
And as soon as I go, Baby Ice,
Bye.
I go, are you okay? I'm like, who are you talking to? And he turns around, and it was like it was like a horror movie. Like all of a sudden, you know how you see horror movies when say turn around and the person turns around, they're like either a zombie or a demon. Imagine a baby with a fucking spider on their face across their cheek, and then the baby grabs it, and then he just starts, and he's laughing as he's crunching this shit. He's like,
God.
No. He's like,
but it tastes good, Daddy.
I goes, he's like, and then he's eating a cart, and so he bit the spider in half and with some legs, and then I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to get it out, and I'm trying to do the finger sweep, and he's like, no, my snack, no, my snack.
I hunted this myself. Leave me alone, Dad.
So
would you take my kill?
So everyone's like, I'm googling fucking WebMD, which is the worst thing you could do.
Because he's got cancer now.
He's like, so what happens if a baby eats a wolf spider? His hand will fall off. Or where was the spider at? I call a friend of mine who's a medic, who was a PA, and I called a friend who was a doctor. I'm like, hey, what about? I called one of my family members who was a vet tech. I started calling everybody of medical knowledge, and then they're like, he'll be okay.
Hey, you work with cats. Will my son die if he eats a wolf spider?
Yeah, he was like. Scared the bejesus. But it, like I said, it would look. I wish I would have filmed it, because I would have put like music in the background, like.
You should see some of the comments on the. Let's see. There's a lot of people like totally free. Casey Lynn, I don't know what the hell she said, but she said, "Oh my God," and a bunch of those letters. Jason Halter said, "Ice's fear factor."
Yeah, no, man, it was Baby Ice, not me. I wasn't eating a motherfucker.
Baby. Well, we don't know. How do we know you didn't teach this kid something, with all your gung ho, airborne, hoorah shit?
No, he freaking, like I said, now imagine this. Your kid is, because basically what it was is that, change the diaper up, clean it. Okay, I'm going to wash my hands right quick. Oh, fuck, I need to get a paper towel. Oh, man, I don't got no paper towel. I'll just grab this towel. So I open up the cabinet to get it. And then that's when I hear the giggling. So as soon as my back is turned, and I can see the living room from my kitchen. So as soon as my back is turned, I hear, hee hee hee, I'm gonna get you, hee 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 hee. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm looking for fucking weapons. I'm like, because I have weapons around my house, and
and you're gonna shoot the spider.
I didn't know what it was. I thought he was like, I'm like. If it's a
come here, demon.
Yeah, exactly. If it's fucking a paranormal event or a malevolent fucking beast, I'm gonna be just capping shit. But like I said, it sounded like somebody was in the other fucking room. And
hey, what happened to your wall? Well, there's a demon there, and I wanted to make sure I didn't miss.
Yeah, exactly. But what was funny is that again. So then I saw him going in between the chimney area and the recliner, and I'm like, oh, he's chasing something. And I go, Baby Ice, what are you doing? And as soon as he stands up, it was like fucking, it was like, yeah, it was like a drone. He's like, it was almost like he went catatonic, like he got busted, like he got caught cold busted. So he stopped. He froze.
Hello, Father.
He turned around and he's like, hi, Dad. And then the fucking that fucking spider's on his. Like I said, that you remember? You've watched Star Trek, right?
Yes.
And you watch the what was that, First Contact, where Jean-Luc Picard thinks he's the Borg again, and that thing pops out of his cheek. That big spider-looking thing on his cheek. That's what it looked like. That's how big it was on his face. It went from the bottom of his eye down to his cheek. But that's how big this motherfucker was. And he just sweeps it like right in his mouth, like like there it is. And that's why he was trolling the fuck around, man. And then fucking, and then he was trying to. Then there was a snack. So let's see. He went through a half a bag of Ritz crackers, some fucking. I was feeding him everything to fucking dilute the shit. Milk, water, Coke,
just
coffee,
give him whiskey. Kid, drink
beer.
the whiskey.
Yeah, exactly. A fucking, some Jack and Coke, some crackers, some fucking saltines.
I know it burns. You should have ate the damn spider.
Salt and vinegar chips, and I'm just thinking. Fuck, dude. Yeah, exactly. Spider ice.
Thank you, Jason, for that.
Thanks. Yeah. Oh man.
Oh my.
So
every time you talk about it, I start cringing and freaking out.
He
like,
likes.
I just can't. Oh.
He likes spiders. I have posted several pictures in Real Book and Facebook and family pictures of him grabbing spiders. Like he goes up. He doesn't want me. There's a fucking a big spider web growing in the front of my house, and he doesn't want me to fuck with it. Like I'm gonna kill a spider, and the next thing you know, he's fucking going no, blah blah blah, baby talk, and no, don't do it. And he gets in front of this. He gets in front of this thing that will put him in a damn cocoon and eat him, and he wants to he wants to defend it. So he's fucking like, oh my fucking god, dude, it scared the. So everyone's asking me, Ice, you okay? Are you gonna come on? Hey, we're gonna do this. And then when you're saying, hey, what are we gonna talk about? That's why I said, hey, I'm kind of like shooting off the hip right now because
all pre-planning out the window. My kid was part of arachnophobia. Right
exactly.
Now.
My kid. Oh man. So I'm waiting to see tomorrow morning if I'm gonna find a fucking. If I'm gonna be wound up in a fucking a silk fucking web or something like that. Good morning, Dad. Next.
Hey, or your kid's gonna turn to Spider-Man. We don't
exactly.
know.
He's gonna climb, but he's okay. So I mean, he's no allergies or nothing. But it just scared the shit out of me because I didn't.
Man, don't you guys feed him real food that he doesn't have to go hunting for fucking wolf spiders?
Bro, this kid's a fucking beast. He eats. He's going through a growth spurt and he just eats and fucking eats.
My kid went through a growth spurt. Never once was like, hey, you know what? Spider sounds great for snack time.
Well, I mean, yeah. Lucky he really can't talk right now because fucking what was it? What was it? Whatever you want to call it, DPS, whatever the fucking the CPS. Child Protective Services will be like, oh, Mr. Ice,
hope they're not listening.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
Shit.
No, let's go ahead and do this right here because Mr. Ice here, it appears that your child has eaten a wolf spider. Well, how do you know?
That's some Harry Potter living underneath the stairs type of shit.
Dude, he's fucking that. Like I said, it didn't. Did not.
You're a wizard, Harry. Baby Ice.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't. Like I said, I'm glad. That's one thing. In kids, they don't have fear. He doesn't have fear of shit. He watched.
I sure as hell do. Fuck that shit.
No, he watched the commercial for the movie It, and when fucking he's like, "Hi, Georgie, and you want a boat?" And then he stopped. He froze what he was doing, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I gotta change it." And as soon as I'm about ready to change it,
Halloween's got to be an interesting time at your house because apparently your kid is possessed by a spider-eating demon.
Yeah. He started laughing. He started laughing when Pennywise was going, "Hi, Georgie," and he's like, and he's pointing at me like, "Dad, look at," like he thought it was.
Dude, I hate to tell you, but we need to There's a priest I know who needs to come over and just
no. But it gets better. You know that one scene where they show, if you guys have not seen the movie It, I won't spoil it for you. But there's this one scene in the commercial where you see him rushing to the kids and he's making that funny head shake.
Yeah,
my kid lost his shit.
Lost it, laughing.
Laughing his ass. He could not stop. My daughter fucking ran into the fucking room when that commercial came on.
Shit, I ran into the room.
And he lost his shit. So now there has, and this sounds fucked up. But now there has to be a ritual when he comes home from school that he wants to see the clown. He's like, Dad, can I see the clown? So I play that trailer for fucking It to condition his ass so he don't kill me when he grows up. So he can never say, Dad, you didn't love me when I was growing up. You didn't let me watch It. Kid, you fucking now. And now that you fucking eat spiders, I'm afraid of Baby Ice, man. I'm afraid of fucking Baby Ice.
Why are we talking about two things that absolutely terrify me? Clowns, fucking spiders. And the kid who laughs at the scary ass clown.
Dude, he's fucking.
And eats the spider. There is a horror movie that has this premise in here. Dude, get out of the house.
No way, dude. I like to see shit burn, and I'm a fucking glutton for punishment. Just look at my divorce rate. But I kind of like watching this shit. I want to see what happens.
All 17 X's.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I want to see this shit happen. See what happens.
Hey, I want to see what happens when my soul leaves my body after my son takes it.
Yeah, well, at least I know it's my kid, so it'll be good. You know what I mean? But that's why I wanted him. I want him to be Pennywise for Halloween, and I was telling my coworkers about it, and they were flipping their fucking shit, and they're saying, "Where are you going trick or treating?" Because you know what? There's cops over here already saying that if you get attacked by a clown or if a clown comes at you and you defend yourself, there'll be nothing to it. I'm going to punt I literally got told I'm going to punt your kid across the fucking lawn if he shows up with a red balloon going, "Hey, Georgie," because, that's what he's saying now. He's like, "Hey, Georgie." So the teachers
I'm not
are
even
like.
Gonna front. If I saw your son come at me, I don't care if he looks adorable as hell and he's got he's asking for candy, but he comes at me with a clown outfit,
No,
I
he's-
will Spartan kick the
He's
shit
not.
out of
That's what I'm
him.
saying. But he can't. He doesn't like sitting for because I tried it. I tried to apply the Pennywise makeup. I tried to apply makeup on him so that way, and I can put a wig on him. He doesn't. You know how kids are. They don't like shit on their head unless they put it on themselves. And then if it's makeup, he kept wiping it off. He was looking at it like, what the hell is this shit? He'd wipe his face and then
Eat it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, he was wipe his face off and then I had white makeup and red makeup and fucking I don't want to put the fucking that what's that they had that stuff. It's almost like lipstick that they put for
gloss.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called. Yeah, it's something like that that allows a clown. Basically, it's clown makeup. And yeah, he wouldn't let me do it. He would fight me. He wouldn't let me put the wig on him. He wouldn't let me put.
Shit,
the
I'd fight your kid.
You can imagine. You can imagine everybody
I
because
already know there's going to be a ton like in my neighborhood, and I've heard some rumblings from some of the little ones want to be like Pennywise, even though they had no idea who Pennywise is.
Yeah, exactly.
And all that fun stuff. Because I'm like, they eat children, you're gonna die. But there's some kids that are talking about getting Pennywise costumes, and I'm like, I ain't walking out my door because I'm gonna get arrested for punching a kid, or B, a clown's actually gonna get my ass because I'm like, oh, I'm sure it's just a kid, and then there goes Flash.
When it's actually the strongest midget you've ever met. It was fucking. So you can imagine the fight in the store, and everyone was laughing at me because he saw the costume, and he started going, "Oh, it's clown!" I'm like, "Yeah, it's the clown." And then everyone's like, oh, "Your kid wants to wear that?" I'm like, "Yeah." I go, "We're gonna do a little try on right quick and see the smallest one we can get." And as soon as I put the thing on his head, he's like, "Fuck that! I'm not putting this shit on my head. Get the fuck." And I'm like, "Okay, whatever." So I got the clown makeup to see maybe I'll let his hair grow out, not give him a haircut, and then spray his hair.
Yeah, with that spray dye stuff.
Yeah, with the spray dye stuff, exactly. And just spray it out and make his hair all fucking crazy like that, not give him a haircut, because he gets haircuts.
It'll be pink afterward.
Yeah. And so the teachers asked me at a school, it's like, "Hey, we're going to have Halloween. Do you don't mind if we have Halloween dress up?" Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, "No, I don't mind." It's like, "Well, what's your kid going to be?" I'm like, "Pennywise." And they
the scariest fucking kid here.
They fucking look at me and they're like,
"Well, Mr. Icelop, we want to have something that's more conducive to, playful and
they didn't want no clowns.
Fuck, I don't want clowns.
Yeah, the school did not want no clowns, no weapons. I mean, it's a school. I mean, come on, it's preschool and all that, but they didn't want nothing to do with fucking weapons, clowns, anything. So I'm like, okay, then he's not gonna fucking dress up then, and he's not gonna care because he walks around dressed up like fucking his favorite characters that he wants to fucking do anyway. So
I mean, your kid's already the devil apparently.
No,
so
whatever.
Screw it if he doesn't have to dress up as a clown.
No way, dude. Yeah, so
he's gonna wake you up in the middle of the night. He's over your body, and he's like, "Daddy, you want a snack?"
Yeah.
And you're not gonna be able to see what he has, but you're already gonna know what it is.
Yeah, no, my daughter does that. My daughter likes to walk. Both my daughters did that. Right now, Princess Ice does that. I'll hear a footstep coming in my room, and then it gets quiet because she doesn't want to make no noise. And then I hear a voice, no shit, 3 feet from me, "Dad." And I'm like, "Ah!" Like that, dude. So yeah, that was the thing that I wanted to tell you guys after for the show, because that was kind of got me late, and that's why I wanted to get it out.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have nightmares. And
imagine, like I said, I was, and this may sound like a fucked up dad, but I was trying to find my fucking phone to take a picture of it.
Oh my god!
Because I wanted to show.
Didn't happen.
Yeah, I wanted to show, and I was fumbling, looking for it, and then by then he was already running away, and then I didn't think he was gonna put it in his mouth, because how spiders move fast, they move real quick, fast motions, and so that's what he was doing. He was twirling around because the spider was on his head, and he was laughing about it, thinking it was cool as shit, and then that's when I said, "Baby, I stop, turn around." And as soon as he turned around, that's when I saw it on his cheek, and I came rushing towards him, and then that was it. He just brushed it in his mouth, and goes my snack. I'm like, "Ah, fucker." Dad life. But yeah.
Your kid's officially gonna give me damn nightmares.
No way, dude.
Well, I'll help you out. When
yeah.
we first bought our house, I had a brown recluse on my leg. Swiped it off, because I didn't want to kill it while it was on my leg. it comes back on like my arm, and I just strip buck naked.
Whoa. So, whoa. What's that again now?
In the living room, like hooting and hollering, and my husband's coming towards the door, and the kids are like, "No, the kids can't come in here." And my husband's just laughing. He's like, "What the hell's going on?" I'm like, "There's a spider." He's like, "Where?" "I don't know. I just stripped."
Oh my God.
That's my reaction. Spider. Oh shit! Let me get out of these clothes.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea, Allie. Make him a spider for Halloween.
There you go.
Oh, I want to make him like the real ones. You know, like he's freaking.
Make him a Black Widow.
But Daddy, this doesn't feel like the spiders I've eaten already.
Yeah, exactly. Dad, this doesn't look like the right one. Why is it got? That's a good idea. I wouldn't mind doing that. No, it's gonna be a good fucking idea.
Or Spider-Man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Spider-Man. No, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't. He is all nothing. If it blows up, he's got a weird. He likes all Disney movies. He and he loves Angry Birds. He loves that movie Angry Birds. Anything Star Wars, anything Angry Birds. Some Disney movies okay. He likes Zootopia because he laughs at rabbits. The reason why
the racist rabbits.
No. The reason why he laughs at rabbits is because where I live, there's a large area of field, and rodents like to come around and they go through everyone's yard. Well, the hawks see that too. So
damn.
So he looks out the back window and he's laughing and giggling, and he sees the hawks pillaging the dude. My kid is like freaking. Either he better hurry up and join the army. I don't know. Can they accept at 5 years old or whatever? But he needs to join the freaking army.
Some of the soldiers that have been coming in, I swear their mom signed them a waiver when they were in middle school because holy shit.
Yeah, exactly. So he laughs. He likes watching nature shows. So if you watch freaking National Geographic or he watches Animals Gone Wild, he loves fucking watching that shit. He likes fails. Like if you watch Fail Army, he likes watching people fall and bust their ass and shit like that. He can't fucking stop laughing. We were at the fucking mall. A little fucking girl was running. She fell and busted her face and started crying and all that stuff. And he could not stop fucking laughing. I literally had to move him away because everyone thought that I did it. That, by the way, you know what I mean by his reaction. She was running and she was running past up, and her mom was like, get back here, and she tripped and fell and hit her face on. She obviously she face planted. And she started crying. She didn't freaking, no blood, no nothing or whatever. But the way she stood up and looked at me and my kid made it look like I'd stuck my foot out or something. And my little guy's like freaking straight up laughing his ass off. He could not. He just could not. I'm like, dude, that's not cool. That's not cool. And he's like, she fell. Blah. I love it. He is.
I think you're the only parent that has to go. All right, baby eyes, you need to go brush your teeth. You got spider breath again.
Yeah, no. Well, this thing, I brush his teeth for him. So when I did the mouth check before I put it in a bed, I did it again, and there was little pieces of leg and shit in there, and no main body. No, he'd cry. I mean, I heard because when little kids eat, they eat with their mouth open, so you can hear them crunching and eating all that.
Oh, stop. No. Oh, God, stop.
I heard the motherfucker cry. I looked my kid in the eye sockets.
Cry? Like, no.
I looked my kid in the eye sockets. I saw him go, crunch. So, hey.
What if it had little babies on it, too? Oh, no, stop it. Oh, God.
It wouldn't matter.
Oh,
it wouldn't matter.
It hurts my face.
I've been on the phone, and this is why I got to be careful when I broadcast shit. And I make sure the kid's not. That's why I used to have throughout the house playing, so that way if I'm going to the bathroom or something, I know that a song's going to end soon. I can hurry up and go to the bathroom and come back. So throughout my house, I play WTF Nation Radio while I'm broadcasting. Last night I was on the phone with somebody, and I heard my kid go, Dad. I'm like, what? I'm talking on the phone, Dad. And I said, what? And he goes, I said, bitch. Okay. And the person on the other end goes, did he just say I said bitch? He said, yes. He's picking up everything so fucking fast. It's unreal.
Well, Jason Halters thinks that your kid is a special forces candidate.
Well, he's too smart for that.
Allie says she thinks she was gonna say Marines. I think that's an insult to your son.
I was
He's
about
crazy.
to say, yeah, he's crazy.
Stupid.
I think he'll probably be like a stunt driver. I think he'll be like a daredevil. He's that adventurous.
Or he's gonna be on Fear Factor, the revival.
Yeah, exactly.
They were like, we need you to eat this tarantula. Oh, lunch.
Yeah, exactly. He'll sit there and just like rip a leg off.
They're gonna be like, hey, we're starting the show. Okay, you need to eat a no, not yet. And
They'll ask for hot sauce.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm serious because there's.
Hey, do you have any mayo or something with this?
Yeah,
Spice.
No, because he likes socializing.
Are you not going to eat your tarantula?
Yeah.
Here, give it here. I got you.
He likes socializing with other kids, but as soon as he, but hang on.
How do you like your daddy long legs?
No. But hang on. He likes hanging out with other kids, and when he's running up towards them, as soon as he sees something crawling on the ground, he'll like, dude. I'm like, what? Dude, and I'm like, don't even pick it up, dude. And he puts his hand in a freaking in an ant pile, or he'll freaking see something crawling and he'll try to grab it and inspect it. Dude, he's gonna be like the crocodile hunter, man. He's gonna here we have, he's gonna freaking
like a fire ant pile.
Yeah, no,
Here we have the giant
put his-
man-eating tarantula. I'm gonna make it my pet.
Yep, him and Princess Ice were playing in the backyard, and they were all goofing off and all that. So when they're playing out and they're out there for a little bit, they don't want to come in. I'll take a football out there. I'll take some baseball or softball or something, just they can play around, or a soccer ball just to play. And Princess Ice walks to one corner of the yard, and then he goes chasing after her, and then he freezes like, dude, and he looks right on the ground, and he all I see is a little sand pile. I'm like, oh fuck. And I run over there, and he just grabs it. Dude. Crawling all over his hands. Dude. I hit him out of his hands before he could put him in his mouth. But, yeah, he does not.
Oh, my God. Just like every word.
He doesn't care. He does not care. He runs. He doesn't give a shit about danger. I take him. I'm saying this is freaking me the fuck out because he's not supposed to be doing it at this age. He's doing shit that a 4 and 5 year old are supposed to be doing, but he's much younger than that. And so we'll go to the store, and the next thing you know, I put something in the shopping cart, and I turn around, and he's standing in the chair of the shopping cart trying to grab something off the shelf. He does shit like that. Or he'll walk by we're in a restaurant, and he'll go by a waitress, and then he'll pat her on the ass. He's like, "What's up, baby?"
For fuck sakes.
What?
The whole, like, one of these days he's gonna grab onto something he ain't supposed to. Like, hey, it's brown. Let's eat this. And all of a sudden, like, he's gonna be all messed up from a brown lacrosse or some shit like that. Or damn, hey, look, Daddy, it's cute. It's got a red hourglass on its butt.
Yeah, I'm going to this weekend call this upcoming week. I'm going to call for an exterminator because man,
and an exorcist. Dear God.
Oh, come on, he's not that bad. I mean, aside from me that one time when you talked, he was in the background going rah rah rah. I'm gonna kill you rah rah.
That actually scared me a little because first it's like it's kid noise, not a problem, and then it just sounded like demon. And that was just like, I was like, hello, are you okay? Where are you?
Exactly. You were like, is that an
I
animal?
have a Catholic priest on standby. I just need to know where your location. Give me a 4-digit grid. We can get you there.
I remember that. Is that you got a pet? Is that a dog or a cat? No, that's my kid. Fuck you, dude. What do you mean? Is that you're like, what the hell's making that noise?
Oh my God.
The kid's fucking hilarious, man. But again, like I said, I'm not afraid because it's my kid. I'm not gonna be afraid of him, but it's just fascinating that.
I'm afraid of him,
dude. He's no.
I'm not even play around. He's gonna dress up like a clown, eating a spider. I'm like, fuck no, kick in the face. Get away from me.
It is no different from that little private that we had on the main page that ate that camel spider, and got.
Oh God!
And that's a dumb motherfucker. And I hope he gets like diarrhea forever. Or
No, it was
like
no,
that.
it was a little female PFC. It was a little female PFC, and they were picking on her and picking on her and picking on her. And then he told her, "Hey, you shut the fuck up, bitches. You guys aren't even blah, 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 blah." And then she's like, "I'll like this fucking spider." And I'm like, "You fucking, my dick's bigger than yours," type shit or whatever. And she fucking picked up that camel spider. Look on the main page. Look back, for some of the
No, I'm good.
Videos.
I'm good.
That.
That's one story I don't need to listen to.
She picked up that shit and fucking crunched on that crap. Tune in next week for Scorpion a la plancha. No. I'm not going to feed him a scorpion. Maybe without a tail.
No, I don't think you have to. I think your son's going, hey, look what I found, Daddy. Yummy.
Yeah. No, I'm going to record him one of these days when he goes on his little adventures, dude. I mean, I have to wait till I'm retired because he's got some pictures that are fucking hilarious. Oh my god. Baby Ice, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he's surrounded in laundry detergent type shit. You know what I mean? He's the guy. He is the little boy that I was gonna get a brand new TV. If you look at my TV right now, it has more fingerprints, handprint. Like he knows when I wipe it down to clean it, because I don't like fingerprints on a screen, right? So he knows what the fuck. He knows exactly when I'm cleaning it. I would sit there in mid-game playing with the guys on Xbox, and the next thing he'll walk up to is like, da-da. I'm like, what's up? And he'll walk up to the Xbox and bloop, bloop, shut it off.
I think it's a little boy thing because my son does that too. Like I'm looking at the TV now, and I have like a couple little I have little handprints everywhere because the boy, and he's done that where I've been like I when I play some games, like I like to be like I play to win. I don't know if that's just who I am,
exactly.
and whether it's a video game or a life, I play to win. So I get into some of these games, and I got the Madden, the new Madden game, which I think is pretty awesome. And I'm playing it, and I'm finally beating this kid who's been. I don't talk trash on there because I feel like you feel like an ass when you lose. So I'm like, this kid's just hammering me away, and finally I block a field goal, run that shit back, get the ball back, kicking ass, and then what happens? And my wife has to grab my son because I'm going to go get him.
Yeah. He's not rich. He's not hit the savage level that Princess Ice and Miss Ice, my oldest, have done with gaming systems. They see when my oldest, she's in her 20s. When my oldest, I'm gonna date myself. We had a Sega Genesis, right? And so
I remember it.
Yeah,
I had one. Don't worry about it.
And she thought that the Sega Genesis cartridge port was to deposit your PBJs in. And
no!
She would see the the cartridge going inside the fucking game. So that's what she thought it was. So that's what she fucking did. She got a PBJ, and I came home from work, and I wanted to play some Sega Genesis, and I look in it, and right before I'm about ready to stick a fucking cartridge in there, I look at it, and there's peanut butter and jelly and bread crust all over that motherfucker. And my ex is like, "Oh, I guess she got into the game," and I'm like, "Oh, I guess she fucking
You don't
did."
say.
Yeah. So, and then there was the Xbox 360 that Princess Ice I went through 3 of them when Princess Ice was little because she felt that when the Xbox 360 cartridge tray came out, that Princess Ice needed to have it, so she could. How dare the Xbox 360 take that cartridge tray with game and put it inside? So she would purposely turn on and off the Xbox, so that way the cartridge can come out. And when she'd figure out the eject button, then she used the video game, the $60 ones, to wedge that thing open and then break it off.
Oh man.
Yeah. So when Xbox One and PlayStation 4 came out with no trays, that was awesome because then the kids are like baffled. They don't know how the game comes out.
What is this witchcraft?
Yeah. So Baby Ice right now is trying to figure out that. So there'll be times where we'll play, like me and Redleg will play. We'll play with some of the fans on Grand Theft Auto or something like that. And the next thing you know, we're sitting there talking, having a good time, and then bling, the game shuts off. Why? Because there's a little monster right there, going, dude.
If he gets within 5 feet of the Xbox, I tell him to back up. Like he knows. Like I know when he's on a mission, and like some days he wants to just, hey, let's see how I can wreck Daddy's life today. And he'll do it. Like one time he did it consistently. He did it 3 times within 15 minutes. If I ever was going to throw a toddler off a porch, it was going to be that day.
Oh, I'm telling you
not for the sheer fact that I was playing a video game. Like I don't care that much. It's the fact that he did it 3 times. After the first time he knew, turning this off when Daddy's playing it, probably not a good idea. It wasn't the fact that I cared about the game playing. It's a game. Who cares? I'm not getting paid for it. But the fact that he consciously decided, fuck this guy, I'm gonna turn it off again.
Exactly. What are you gonna do about it, huh? No, because
what are you gonna do? I'm cute and adorable.
Yeah, I'm cute and adorable, and I'm a kid. You could get in trouble if you hit me nowadays. So bring it. Bling. There goes
Not in the state of Virginia. I could beat my kid with a belt, and no one can say shit.
Oh man, yeah. So he's like I said, and you know what? I think having a little one at my age, a little bit older, I have more patience. I don't think I've been able to do this. I don't know how I did it with the other ones. Fuck, I don't know how I had the patience. Because this guy, but actually because there were girls and there were no, it was no drama, low maintenance. Because then as they grew older, then they went to moms because there were girls. I can't explain it, but this one, Dad, why is it a bad idea to shoot somebody in the face? I had to ask those kind of answer those kind of questions.
Hey, why is it bad to shoot someone in the face?
Yeah.
Well, depending who it is, it's not.
Yeah, Dad, why is it that when I eat spiders, all of a sudden I have this affinity for spiders? Let me tell you a story, bud. Dad, there was a girl that I knew, and she had a spider crawling on her shoulder, and I grabbed it, and I ate it, and she freaked out. Why would she freak out? Fuck. Yeah, so that was my baby ice freaking, I thought was a paranormal experience. I was about ready to unload a magazine into whatever was in my living room with my kid. And then it turns out that he decided to one-up me on the fear factor, like you said there, Allie.
He said, I see, I said, well, I call you Dad and I raise you, crunch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Hi, Dad.
Fuck your airborne. I eat spiders, motherfucker.
Yeah, Dad, so you think you're badass, huh? You were a first rank?
you think you're something? You think, go ahead and follow me. Fear factor in this house.
Exactly. And like I said,
your kid's got bigger balls than both of us. Dear God. Or he's stupid. I don't want the two.
No, he's not stupid because he could figure shit out. Like I said,
apparently he's just like his give a fuck meter is broken.
No, he doesn't give a fuck about.
And he's like, man, I'm hungry. Crunch.
Yeah, crunch.
Hey, you got 8 legs. That's more to eat. Come here.
I'm waiting for that fucking phone call.
Hi, Mr. Ice. We've noticed that your child is eating a lot of insects, and
Mr. Ice, for show and tell, one of the kids brought a tarantula, and he exclaimed lunch and ate it.
Exactly.
You owe the kid a tarantula, and we need to talk about your son.
Yeah, exactly. The parents of the child are saying that he's deeply traumatized due to the fact that your child ripped each leg off and then crunched on its butt before he wolfed it down his throat. That's what he did, man.
Too.
Oh,
shit, I'm traumatized from hearing that damn story. I'm gonna have nightmares.
That ain't no fucking story. It fucking happened. Matter of fact,
don't want to eat spiders.
I'm gonna film him doing it. I should do that. What? You know what? We should do that. We should have send us your videos of crazy shit your kid has done.
Wait, we got stuff to give away. We might have to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, people, we don't have that cool stuff to give away. Nothing you need to make your. Hey, kid, eat the scorpion.
Yeah.
Damn, eat the damn scorpion, Daddy.
I got a bumper sticker.
Yeah, exactly. Got a bumper sticker to give out, right?
We have a few.
The kid's
left.
The kid's tongue is swollen. Let's give the bumper sticker. Film it.
Somebody's gonna have their kid do something. Hey, I want you to jump on the freeway naked, eating spiders, and going WTF Nation Radio.
Exactly.
I think I have a couple of the lame ass bumper stickers left.
I think they're funny as shit. So on that note, real quick, we talked about the paranormal shit.
Allie just said, "Do classrooms have pets? Not for long."
Not when my kid's there. I was wondering why he was going after the fish tank, because they have a fish tank in there, and he's always going, dude, look at the fish. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna say, watch my kid around the freaking fish, man.
Hey, baby Ice, have you seen the gerbil?
Yeah. Exactly.
No, but he tasted good.
Yeah, exactly.
Lord.
No, Dad. There's more dark meat in a guinea pig, though, Dad.
You tasted better whole than you did in the soup.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. And then you need more. We need some more fucking. That's some real gumbo there, pops.
Looking fur from his feet.
Yeah, exactly. See his little feet fucking hanging out. So speaking of paranormal activity, fucking this Saturday coming up is going to be Greg Stevens from RIP. Not R.I.P. from Research and Investigations of the Paranormal. Woo! Can't wait. Fucking be awesome. That's gonna be a badass show. Fucking love this show. I'm fascinated by the fucking paranormal.
I'm not.
Oh, I'm just fascinated by it. No, dude, we talked about this stuff. Like watching those videos of shit opening and closing, or paranormal activity stuff, because it could fucking happen type shit. That's fucking badass. Founder Greg Stevens is a retired first sergeant who started this investigation of paranormal events to the state of Texas. All through the Midwest, there is some badass freaking events, paranormal events that happen in like the old ghost towns and shit, like through Oklahoma, Kansas, fucking northern Texas and stuff like that. Southern Texas has got some good haunts. So I'm really excited about this dude coming on. It's gonna be fucking badass. They use scientific methods to gain a better understanding of the unexplained events. Like, why does your son talk to spiders? And then
and eat them.
RIP provides their investigations at no cost to the client, and they promote public awareness and preservation of historical sites, and work with the public to educate how paranormal investigations are conducted. And then we got Darn Carlo from the Journey Home Project. The Journey Home Project is to continue and to develop and produce video and television programming that causes awareness of the sacrifices made by the men and women who serve in the U.S. military, and utilize these assets in raising funds to help our returning men and women during their service. After the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, there are many stories that are retold of the deployed troops and they're making their journey home, and these are the stories that the Journey Home Project wants to tell. 3 November, we got Kevin and a model from Girls Gone Grunt. What?
I want to be a part of that show. Whatever you do to help me book on that.
No, that's gonna. You have to talk to Minx about that. That's gonna be 3 November, Friday Night Freedom. Kevin and a model. I just always said that. I like the way this thing says. Kevin and a model from Girls Gone Grunt, because girls can be grunt now.
Fuck yeah, they can.
So
you go, girl.
Yeah, you go, girl. Kevin funded Girls Gone Grunt as a mission to grow respect and appreciation for the hardworking women of our country. You damn right. You damn fucking right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, damn right. Fucking I'm totally businesswoman, nurse, or any role that a woman play vital. You notice how he said businesswoman and nurse, like women always want to be nurses. I'm gonna fuck with him about that. His vision is to give women a platform to celebrate life's accomplishments, hard work, and patriotism. Of course, I mean, women have provided the service throughout the freaking country, and there are many female veterans that, I mean, come on, really? It's just, you know what? Everyone talks about the integration of women into whatever. I think women had it, when it came in the military, had it harder because it wasn't until the 80s where women were allowed into West Point.
Shit, that long?
Yeah.
Well, it's West Point,
well,
so
like,
whatever.
well, I don't know, it was like 80s or 70s, but it wasn't like too recently. You know what I mean? They're now even talking about creating a veterans women's memorial. So I mean, this is freaking, it's badass shit. I personally, I think that there is going to have, I think more should be. I mean, there's all the talk about the guys. I won't say it right now. Everyone who talks shit about people who because rugged, they're a bunch of pogues and also the shit. The majority of the casualties have not been infantry guys. The majority of the you know what I mean?
Are we talking about our favorite person?
No. I'm just talking about in general how people say that women don't do much in the military when women have been just as they have been killed in operations, and women have done anything to you know what I mean?
Shit, I've met some women that are like more badass than like half the people at freaking half the Cav Scouts, which is not a hard, and half the infantry folks at 1st Cav Division. There's some females there that are rocking shit over there. So yeah, exactly. Anyone who talks shit about females, you don't know what you're talking about, because like with everything, regardless of gender, you got people that don't want to be super badass or / can't, or the ones that are, and you can't teach that shit. And there are plenty of females I can test in 1st Cav Division that are fucking badasses. I would PT, shoot, and everything me under the table. Like I don't even play.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that either. Fuck yeah, dude. So, anywho, so that concludes our show. We thank you guys for coming on. Thanks, Flash and Mom, for hanging out with me tonight. And then I guess this marks my official lifting of my boycott from Major League Baseball. Go Dodgers.
Woohoo! go Houston. We're gonna rock. They're gonna rock this shit. Just watch.
Yeah, now I got to catch up on all my stats. I got to catch up on everything because there was all that time that I said I refused to watch baseball. That this was all happening. So I really got to be fucking. I got to catch up because I know once everyone starts talking about who's gonna win the World Series and all that, everybody knows that the Dodgers are gonna do it. But there's gonna be all that shit talking. I got to catch up to my facts and knowledge.
Well, like Joe Buck said in the last the Yankees Houston game, as much as I hate Joe Buck, his toupee and everything he talks about, throw all those stats out the window. All that shit doesn't matter. Only thing that matters is these next 7 games.
Yeah, exactly. So go Dodgers, and then hey Houston, good luck. We'll see. So anywho, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and kill the Facebook live feed so I can do some other stuff, and then y'all have a good one. I'll see you guys later. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow. We have a show every night from 20 to 2300, and we have Tuesdays and Thursdays Jose's Taco Truck with KJ and Ghosty from 12 to 1400. And like always, we appreciate y'all's coming on here and hanging out with us. So with that, y'all have a good one, and shouts.
Shouts.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
I look around this room and I see nothing but untapped potential.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
You have potential. You have... Oh, boy.
Everything